This is the Buzz Adams Morning Show podcast. Barstool Talk Daily. Except it's really early in the morning and no booze. For the most part.
Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a Town Square media station.
If you hit that snooze button one more time...
Get some coffee?
They're gonna be pretty angry with you at the office if you don't get a move on.
So without turning this into a big production, just wake up and get going.
Wakey, wakey.
Wakey, wakey, hands off Snakey.
Phone keeps ringing right off the hook. Some buckaletta, I know what cooks. I think I'll stay in bed and dream all day. The world outside bugs me anyway. When I get things going, the going gets rough. So I ask myself, why get up?
Good morning.
Why get up?
Good morning, sleepyhead.
Why get up?
Wake up, boo!
How can I get up?
Are you ready to rock?
Why should I get up?
Yes, it's wake up time.
This whole world's gone crazy, think I've seen enough. I'm gonna roll back on over. Why get up?
It's showtime! Waking up West Texas.
Snooze, you lose.
Wake up!
This is the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
Thank you very much, and good morning, and welcome everybody to the show for this Thursday morning. The Buzz Adams Morning Show is back.
All right.
We're down a man. Nico's not coming in today. Just the two of us.
Dude, if that guy got me sick with whatever he's got, I'm going to be so mad.
I was thinking, Nico takes at least, on average, one sick day per week, right?
On average, yeah.
On average, if you average it all together, he takes about one sick day out of 5.
That guy's a very sick dude.
Right. He really needs to get something looked at, I guess. Oh, boy.
But he was saying the other day, he's like, I feel sick. And I was like, get the hell away from me.
All right, so Nico's sick and isn't going to be here today, but we've got plenty to talk about. Happy 7-Eleven Day.
Oh, happy Free Slurpee Day.
Yeah. July is the 7th month. This is the 11th day of the 7th month, and that means, my understanding is, you go into any 7-Eleven, you get a free Slurpee, no questions asked.
Hell yeah.
Have you ever actually gotten a Slurpee on Free Slurpee Day?
Yeah.
And is it that easy?
It is that easy.
Do they give it to you in something like the size of a little Dixie
it's like
cup?
The small size.
The smallest one possible. Yeah. In the summer, we used to ride our bikes and go get Slurpees or Ices or whatever. It's Slurpees, I think. And some of the kids that I hung around with would try and make it over the top. You know?
Oh, yeah. You got to, overfill it.
Yeah, overfill it. And they made a mess. And anyway, we got banned from the 7-Eleven for the rest of the summer.
They're like, you kids can't come back here.
Right. Don't come back here until summer's over. So happy Free Slurpee Day. Happy 7-Eleven Day, everybody. Boy, that guy that was on the show yesterday who won The Voice, Sundance Head, I went out and saw it.
Did you get to see him?
Yeah, he was really great. Yeah, his band is a 3-piece band.
Sweet.
But they got a real big sound. And, of course, he's a great singer, great guitar player. So
awesome.
Everybody who was there at the state line seemed to really be digging Sundance Head, even if they didn't know him from American Idol and The Voice. We got another free concert headed your way. Let's talk about Cool Canyon Nights for tonight at McKellican Canyon Amphitheater. Thanks to Westar, we give you a free concert every Thursday night, going along with the free concert every Wednesday night at State Line. But let me tell you a little bit. We've got the Selena tribute on the main stage. That is tonight. for Cool Canyon Nights. Join the queue tonight at McKelligon Canyon Amphitheater. It's a night of free music with the Selena Tribute featuring Jessica y los Amores Prohibidos, and that's on the main stage. This week's Cool Canyon Nights event is brought to you by the Oscar Arieta Agency. Bundle your home and auto insurance and save with the Oscar Arieta Agency. Stop by their booth to register for exclusive prizes. That's tonight at McKelligon Canyon Amphitheater. Parking is free. The concert is free. Admission is free.
Free shuttle ride.
Free shuttle rides, thanks to our friends from Charlie Clark Nissan. They'll give you a ride right up to the front door. And that is at McKelligon Canyon Amphitheater this evening for Cool Canyon Nights, brought to you by Westar. How was your day yesterday, Joanna?
It was lovely.
Mm-hmm. How's your puppy?
She is adjusting. I got a trainer going over, though. So I'm real excited about that.
Like a professional trainer?
Yes. One of our lovely listeners offered her services, and she will be going over this weekend.
What's her name?
Jackie.
Okay, that name doesn't sound familiar. I had a trainer come over when my two dogs were puppies. Yeah.
Wild. I actually am starting to think the cats are having an influence on her.
My main concern with them was tearing stuff up, go to the bathroom in the house on the floor, and I was worried they were going to fall in the pool because they were little tiny puppies.
Little.
Yeah, so, I mean
Yeah.
I'm going to admit this, and I guess somebody out there is probably going to think it's animal cruelty, but really in my mind I was doing like what I thought was the best thing. I put them both in the pool.
You're going to learn how to swim today.
I dunked them in there. I wasn't trying to teach them to swim. I just wanted them to know, I don't want to get in this pool, because they were really curious about it. And they were little. When I got them, they were only like a month and a half old.
Oh, wow, that is little.
Yeah, something like that. We went to, when I was in L.A., we went north of the city to an animal rescue. You remember Ricky Esquerta's sister Jessica, who married Cesar Soto from the band Ministry.
Oh, yeah.
They got married. Anyway, she works at an animal rescue, and it's right next to this famous filming location that has appeared in a bunch of movies.
Okay.
Maybe the most famous one was the original Star Trek series where Captain Kirk has to fight an alien called the Gorn, and it's just like it's supposed to be on an alien planet. And I drove by and saw that. They did a parody of that scene in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure 2. Yeah. So, I think my daughter's really decided she's either going to live in New York or L.A. She just loves being in big cities.
Nice. How exciting.
I'm trying to sell her on the less expensive option of UTEP.
Have you heard about the great programs here?
UTEP is a great and fully accredited university, part of the University of Texas college system.
El Paso's a fairly big city.
Sure. Compared to where I grew up, it's a metropolis. It's a megalopolis compared to where I grew up. Joanna, you're going to have the Hollywood Cheesemate coming up later. Can you give us a little preview of what's happening in the Hollywood Report?
Inside Out 2 has just reached a new milestone. It is now Pixar's top grossing movie of all time.
Really?
Yeah, bringing in from the global box office $1.251 billion. And a lot of people are saying, this is the movie we all needed right now.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen it?
I haven't.
Have you seen the first one?
Is that like all her emotions are different characters that are like controlling her brain or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that somewhere, not at the theater. There was a TV show in the 90s called Herman's Head. That was the exact plot. It was this guy named Herman. And then it would cut away to Inside His Head, and it was all his different. It was like Logic was arguing with anger, and all these different actors.
Oh wow! Oh my God! It looks like if Inside Out were a live action.
Yeah, and they're like in a control room making the decisions. The show Herman's Head was on. I want to say like 92, 93, something like that.
Shut your mouth! Oh my God!
One of the people in his head was Yardley Smith. I believe that's her name, who plays Lisa Simpson on The Simpsons.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, all right. I don't think Inside Out has quite given credit to Herman's Head. That
You
Herman's
just
Head
blew my mind.
Write an article about it.
Yeah.
Let's get a look at the golfers forecast. It's brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. You can set up all your tee times and reservations online at Painted Dunes, and we're in the part of the week where the rain is out of the forecast, so we don't have any rain for the next 4 days. So it's clear for golf. Also, weather's not going to be too out of control. 10, 15-mile-an-hour winds in the afternoon most days. Today, mostly sunny, 98 for the high, 99 on Friday. Might hit 100 on Saturday. And then Sunday, we've got another 99-degree day. Yeah, it's a little warm outside, but you're in El Paso. It's the desert. It's summertime. If you want to get out and play golf, looks like the weather is definitely cooperating with you for this weekend. And the golfers forecast is brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. Go to painteddunes.com or call the Pro Shop for tee times. Their number is 915-821-2122. I just saw a note here. Joanna, you're hosting at Cool Canyon Nights tonight.
Oh, does it still say that?
Oh,
I
is
am
it?
not.
Is that not the case?
That is not updated.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I will not be
Mark
hosting
that.
tonight.
You'll be in the audience enjoying the show.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to have Today in Sound clips on the way in just a few minutes, and a whole lot more as we're doing a two-person show today.
Just
the two of us.
The Daily Calendar. July 11th is today. It's Cheer Up the Lonely Day, which should be easy because it's 7-Eleven and Free Slurpee Day. Go get some. It's also Mojito Day if that's more your speed. Cheers. And Swimming Pool Day. Sure, I'll second that. And it's World Population Day for all 8 billion of us. We should take a group photo. Queso. Don't know if we have enough muffins to go around, but it's Blueberry Muffin Day.
And that's your Daily Calendar.
Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show, Glenn Garza and Daniel Paulus.
Technology.
Signs.
Your business. And call 629-9100 or visit online at superiorsignandlighting.com.
Oh, we're back.
Buzz is back.
Hey, right on, Buzz.
Buzz in the Morning Show, 95.5 The Q.
All right, we're going to get things started with a look at Today in Sound clips. We'll have that coming up here in just a few minutes. You planning on doing news later in the show?
I can do that
Okay.
if you want.
All right,
yeah.
Joanna's going to do the news. We got that coming up. I want to tell you about our dining deals, but let me get a call first. This one just came in on the neckline. You can call and leave a message for us. We get them pretty quick, almost
early.
instantaneous, yeah. The neckline number, you can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is 844-805-NECK. That's 844-805-6325.
The only thing about the 7-Eleven Free Slurpee is there's no more 7-Elevens around. They're all DKs.
Oh, yeah. They're all basically DKs now. Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me just do a quick Google Maps. I'm counting a couple dozen 7-Elevens.
Still here in El Paso?
I mean, unless they just, like, they've changed the names, but it hasn't been updated on Google Maps. You got one on Gateway North. You got one on Alameda, Sean Haggerty, Vista del Sol, McCombs, Mesa Hills Drive.
I think that may be a little outdated.
You think that's
they're all basically DKs now.
So the caller's right. They're not 7-Elevens anymore?
That is true, yeah.
Come on, Google.
But do not fear. I have an answer for you how you could still get a free Slurpee on this free National Slurpee Day.
Really?
Yes.
Even if we have 0 7-Elevens.
0 7-Elevens, you could still get a Slurpee by heading to any Speedway or Stripes gas station.
They don't have Slurpees at Speedway or
Yes,
Stripes.
they do.
They might have an icy beverage.
No,
but
it's Slurpee. They got the Slurpees.
they do.
Yes.
So what are they against Stripes and what?
Stripes and Speedways.
Oh, it seems like DK would do it because they were recently the 7-Elevens.
I thought the same thing too.
Why-
So when I walked into a DK one time, I was like, where the hell's the Slurpee machine? And they're like, oh, yeah, we don't do that. But Speedway was like, we're going to like snatch up the rights to Slurpee, and they have them.
I told somebody, I don't know why it came up, but I told somebody that the DKs, that the DK stands for Duke Keith because he opened all these convenience stores. They totally believed me.
Oh, nice. You're like, yeah, my good friend Duke Keith.
Yeah. Duke Keith is like the convenience store mogul of El Paso now. KLAQ and SeizeTheDeal.com present dining deals. We have a very unique and a very delicious dining deal for you this week when it goes live tomorrow at 10 a.m. As long as they last, you'll be able to get $50 food certificates for just $25 for Le French Touch. Le French Touch.
Seriously good pizza.
Yes, that famous French dish pizza. They're known for their pizza, but also their crepes.
Oh, the crepes are really good.
And a Greek salad. Le French Touch is in the food court at the Shops of Solana, formerly Sunland Park Mall.
Have you checked it out, Buzz?
No, I haven't
highly
been over to the
encourage
food
you to do
court in a
so.
long time. I'm not even sure what's there anymore.
I got to meet the owners the other day, Jessica and Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Paul is actually from France.
Oh, that's where Le French Touch comes in.
He's the Le French Touch, making the pizzas. But he says that when he first got here, he started listening to our show
Really?
to better his English.
Oh, boy. He did himself a disservice there.
And he
because-
goes, you have a guy with a very strong voice. And I'm all, Buzz. He goes, yeah, very American.
Very American. Okay.
But he says that our show is what's helping him with his English.
Gosh, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on him.
Right? But apparently he's a really big rocker. He has a ton of guitars. He was in a band when he still lived in France. And you know how we have the interviews with our dining deals people?
Yeah.
He didn't get to come in to do the interview because somebody had to go do the pizzas. And I told him, hey, stop on by with your guitar. And he's like, no, I can't do that. I'm like, no, yeah, Buzz has guitars too. You guys could jam out.
Le French Touch has dine-in, takeout, and they also cater. So check them out at the food court at the Shops of Solana. And you can take advantage of this half-off dining deal tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. Find out all the details on dining deals at KLAQ.com and the KLAQ mobile app.
And now, today in sound clips.
All of the day's news with accompanying sound bites and actualities. We're going to get to some of the top stories of the day. One of the members of Congress, AOC, has filed articles of impeachment against Supreme Court Justices Samuel Alito and Clarence Thomas. She cites unchecked corruption. So, sorry, there's a pop-up ad there. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York filed these articles of impeachment against the two Supreme Court justices, alleging that they're engaging in corruption and nobody's doing anything about it.
Oh, baby girl.
Baby girl. Let's hear from AOC.
Reasonable Americans will and do believe that Justices Thomas and Alito are prone and subject to corruption, that the institution failing to punish them is broken, and that consequently their impeachment is a constitutional imperative and our congressional duty.
I could have sworn I learned it in some kind of American government class, and I can't recall if it was high school or after high school, that you can't get rid of a Supreme Court justice. Like there's no expiration on their term.
Right.
Wasn't that what you thought you were taught?
That's what I always believed.
Once you're a Supreme Court justice, you're there until you decide.
Until you You decide.
Yeah, you make
know,
the decision.
You die.
A lot of people are talking about Joe Biden and whether he should drop out or stay in the race. George Clooney has come out and said that Joe Biden needs to step aside and let someone else run for president. Now, George Clooney just threw a fundraiser that raised tens of millions of dollars for Joe Biden last month. So I guess you would call these anti-endorsements.
Okay.
People who were all on board with Biden until, it was a pretty disastrous debate. Appearing on MSNBC yesterday, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi seemed to hint that Joe Biden maybe should decide to drop out.
It's up to the president to decide if he is going to run. We're all encouraging him to make that decision because time is running short.
Well, I mean, he said several different times he's in it to win it. I think I don't have any prediction on what's going to happen. Anything could happen, I guess, at this point. A lot of people in the Democratic Party are coming out trying to convince Joe Biden to withdraw from the 2024 race. By the way, we vote on this in November.
It's July. We've got time.
Senator Peter Welch became the first Democratic senator to call for the president to drop out, writing an op-ed for the Washington Post that said, "For the good of the country, I'm calling on President Biden to withdraw from the race." In a New York Times op-ed, actor and major Democratic donor George Clooney was even more blunt, saying, "We need a new nominee." Other Democratic elected officials calling for Biden to drop out included, just from yesterday, Pat Ryan of New York Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado, and Representative Earl Blumenauer of Oregon. All eyes will be on President Biden tonight as he holds a solo press conference at the NATO summit, his first since the debate. And I think people are going to be watching, first of all, to see how scripted it is, and if he is answering, unscreened questions in real time. Mm-hmm. Was the debate a bad night, or is it indicative of kind of what's normal? Here is Senator Michael Bennet. He says that it's much more likely at this point that Trump wins and wins by a landslide than it is that Joe Biden somehow squeaks this out.
Donald Trump is on track, I think, to win this election and maybe win it by a landslide and take with him the Senate and the House.
Senator Richard Blumenthal said he was deeply concerned about Biden's ability to defeat Trump in this election.
I am deeply concerned about Joe Biden winning this November. We have to reach a conclusion as soon as possible.
So Donald Trump has been playing a lot of golf since the debate. At one point, I heard 9 days in a row he played golf. He's also started bringing up Kamala Harris's name. Of course, he mispronounces it Kamala.
Right.
But it's clear that he thinks there's a possibility that she might be on top of the ticket. Here's a little bit from one of Trump's speaking engagements. He said the chaos in the Democratic campaign is due to the truth being hidden about Joe Biden and his mental acuity.
They are all co-conspirators in the sinister plot to defraud the American public about the cognitive abilities of the man in the Oval Office.
Yeah, if you went by who told the truth more often in that debate, Joe Biden wins that by a landslide. I mean, even if he has some kind of diminished...
As much as he struggled to get to it.
As much as he struggled to get it out, at least he was telling the truth. Trump told multiple. It's hard to even count them because it was one right after the other. A bill is going through that House of Representatives on the federal prison system. It has passed, and is now headed to the president's desk for Joe Biden's signature. Here's Senator John Ossoff of Georgia speaking yesterday while his federal prison oversight bill passed unanimously in the Senate, explaining just one of the troubling reasons that he's introducing a bill to deal with federal prison systems. Listen as Senator John Ossoff says it's a pretty jarring statistic.
We found that in two-thirds of federal prisons that housed female inmates had been sexually assaulted by members of prison staff.
2/3 of female prisons had female prisoners being sexually assaulted by prison staff. A little more from John Ossoff of Georgia said the problem is a stain on America's conscience.
The human rights crisis behind bars in the United States is a stain on America's conscience.
A new SpongeBob movie is going right to Netflix next month. Have you heard about it?
No, I haven't.
It's called Saving Bikini Bottom, the Sandy Cheeks movie.
Nice.
If you don't know SpongeBob, Sandy is the squirrel who lives underwater.
Right.
She has to wear like a spacesuit
like
everywhere. Like an astronaut suit almost everywhere.
Famously from Texas. She's a Texas gal.
Oh, I want to go home.
I want to go home.
Good morning, Bikini Bottom! Good morning, Sandy. We're taking Bikini Bottom!
What's going on?
What the heck? We're going to save our friends! Let's go! Come on, SpongeBob!
Side effects may include mad fry cook skills, porousness, and chronic optimism. Not recommended for non-sponges.
Okay. Hey, so when you think about the names of the places, it seems like SpongeBob is a joke about pants because they live in Bikini Bottom.
Oh, yeah.
What's in Bikini Bottom? Well, they got a Krusty Krab and Sandy Cheeks. A guest at an amusement park had a few too many to drink. He was found laid out drunk near the lazy river. Oh, and he was also naked. Oh, and he was also 74 years old.
Oh, my God.
A 74-year-old man in New Hampshire was arrested this week after he was found lying naked at a lazy river pool at an amusement park. Police say he was hammered at the time. Here is Captain Jason Smith talking about the arrest of the naked 74-year-old man.
There was a male subject there who was completely naked. A number of people had seen this, including children, and that they had reported that to Canby staff, who then reported to the police. The individual was an older gentleman from Somerville. He was arrested for indecent exposure, and he was so intoxicated that later he was taken to the jail as a protective custody. We learned later that, from the information we received, is that he'd been drinking prior to even arriving at Canby. So he wasn't even drinking at Canby Lake Park, and this behavior is unacceptable.
He was pre-gaming. Drinks are more expensive inside the park, right?
That's true. Yeah.
The man who was passed out and naked is 74-year-old John Caraballo. It was 6 p.m., so it was still broad daylight, and there were kids everywhere. Police took Mr. Caraballo into custody and charged him with indecent exposure. He was so drunk, they kept him locked up overnight so that he could sober up. And the man issued an apology to the press saying, quote, "It was extremely poor judgment. I'm extremely remorseful and respectful." A woman in Rhode Island got a nice round of applause from bystanders after she jumped into a river to save a rabbit during a 4th of July celebration. She jumped into a river to save a rabbit.
I mean, heroes come in all sorts, I guess.
And footage of it is making it go viral on TikTok. Let's see. I have some audio from this story. No, I really do.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Yeah, I believe you.
Here you go. This is the Rhode Island woman saving a rabbit from a river.
Something caught my eye off the side of the river. I saw a large splash.
Well, we got the phone call that there was a rabbit in the river. But as we're coming down through Citizens area, my first mate looked and she said, "That's not a rabbit, that's a person." But we threw the life ring out and we have a ladder. We put that on the side of the boat so we could get her up. And she would not let go of that rabbit. She was bound and determined that rabbit was coming with her.
I don't encourage it, though, as the water is quite dirty.
It's dirty.
Speaking of dirty river water, I wrote an article about this. I don't know what, since Nico's not here today, who knows when it's going to get posted. They had to rescue, and by they I mean the Sunland Fire Department, the El Paso Fire Department, like 4 or 5 different fire departments, and the Border Patrol had to rescue 54 migrants from the Rio Grande on Tuesday night. They had to bring in 30 divers from all of these different agencies. I figure that's probably like every wetsuit in El Paso County was out there. And 6 of the people who were in the river had to be treated for hypothermia. And that got me thinking, you can get hypothermia in El Paso in July? Did you see this story?
I did, yeah.
I was out that night, and it was really windy, and there was a dust alert going on. And,
right.
But, I got in my pool, and it was a little chillier than normal, but still kind of like a lukewarm bathwater. I guess it's different in a river. Maybe because the river's running, it might be colder.
You're in the natural elements.
I guess so. One of the star football players at Oklahoma State University got a DUI. And Oklahoma State head football coach Mike Gundy. Mike Gundy has been famous for as long as I can remember because he was also like a big high school star in Oklahoma and a college star in Oklahoma. He's been the OSU coach for a long time. He defended the student. He broke it down for reporters and said it sounds like he had 1 or 2 or possibly as many as 4 beers. And Mike Gundy says, I've never heard a coach do this. I've probably done that 1,000 times in my life.
Okay.
Had 3 or 4 beers. Here's Mike Gundy, the head coach of Oklahoma State University.
So I looked it up on my phone. What would be the legal limit? Like in Oklahoma, it's 0.08. In Ollie was 0.1. And it was based on body weight. Not to get into the legal side of it, but I thought really 2 or 3 beers or 4. I'm not justifying what Ollie did. I'm telling you what decision I made. Well, I thought I've probably done that 1,000 times in my life. And it's just fine. So I got lucky. People get lucky.
So he's saying, people, including himself, drink 3 or 4 beers and then get behind the wheel.
It's cool.
Gundy went on to say, I'm not justifying what the player did. I'm going to do what I think is best for Oklahoma State football. And then he talked about any possible punishment. He told the press if there's any punishment, it's making him carry the ball 50 times in the first game. So I don't know. Is that refreshingly honest, or is that like, dude, you're saying the quiet part out loud?
Yeah, right. Kind of like, no, read the room.
I mean, anytime you're at a bar, if you stay until closing time is 2 p.m., everybody goes out and gets in the car. They've just been in a bar.
That's true.
You've just been in a bar for hours.
Yeah.
Everybody's probably driving legally over the limit out of that parking lot, right?
Yeah, just one will put you over, I think.
It seems like they have really lowered what the legal limit is. Organizations like MAD have really lobbied to the point where it's almost like you can't go have a drink and then get in a car, or you could be over the limit. Let's see. A 78-year-old man in Hawaii says that he bought a vehicle online from a Florida shop. He paid $275,000 for it, so it must have been a nice car. And they never sent it to him. On top of that, the 78-year-old man, Alan Sue, says that the owner has been dodging his calls, won't respond to his emails and texts. Here is Mr. Sue talking about what happened.
He acknowledged that he had received both of the wires and that he would be shipping the car to me. At that point, I'm getting worried because now we've missed 2 shipping deadlines. I've tried to call them, I've tried to email them, I've tried to text them, and they're non-responsive.
So a TV station made the connection between the car dealer who promised to refund the guy's money. Doesn't say why he didn't get the car that he paid for. This dealership has been accused of doing the same thing before, telling the buyer after he paid that they had sold his car to another person. And it is summer. There was a story out of Arizona where some park employees baked banana bread inside their vehicle because it was hot enough to do that. A puppy breeder in North Carolina is accused of leaving 7 newborn puppies in a hot car while she went in to eat.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, one of the puppies had to be euthanized.
Oh, no.
Here are comments from the police chief, Jason Armstrong, in North Carolina, and the woman accused of leaving the puppies in the car. Her name is Whitney Johnson, so let's see if she accepts responsibility. Whitney.
The puppies had been left inside the vehicle from anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. But in addition to being inside the kiddie pool, there was a cover that had been put on top of the pool. 3 of the puppies appeared to be in distress and had some respiratory challenges and were put in an oxygen chamber. One of the puppies did not respond to the treatment.
I am not an animal abuser. I have no malicious intent to harm any animal. I have 12 dogs. I take very good care of my animals.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Don't leave puppies inside a car. I guess this is the time of year you need to remind people, don't forget and leave a pet or, God forbid, a child inside your car because summer has its downsides.
Summer. Everyone seems to think it's great.
I do also.
But what about the dark side of summer?
There's a dark side of summer?
Did you know that summer is when insects grow wings and fly?
That sounds awful.
You might even swallow one. That's not all. Summer makes you wet and sticky. Do you want to be wet and sticky? Like Giuliani?
No!
Summer sun turns mayo into poison.
Oh, God.
Turns ants into roommates.
Bastard.
And cute little dogs into slobber factories.
Ugh, get away from me with that wet ball.
So the next time you're wishing for summer, remember what you're really asking for. This message paid for by Autumn.
Autumn.
We have Halloween.
Hey, it's Double G. Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show on
Family. Go to babytree.com. That's babytreesurrogacy.com. Babytree, making dreams come true.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Enderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
Coming back. 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, we've got a couple of calls, including a live call, which I'm going to get to first. So hang on, Joe. You remember yesterday we were talking about how it seems like they're already pushing back to school and summer just started?
Yeah.
Less than a month ago?
It's that year-round calendar, dude.
I'm going to revisit that because I have the new Back to School Expo information for KLAQ's Back to School Expo. I guess this is something that's being done across the board, starting the back-to-school buying frenzy a little earlier. Let's talk to Joe. It says Joe is a retired EMT from Las Cruces. And, Joe, we were talking about the 54 people, migrants, who were pulled out of the Rio Grande, and that some of them had to be treated for hypothermia. And I was just questioning how you get hypothermia in July.
Well,
yeah.
Well, Buzz,
Love your show.
Thank you.
Since I've been in Crucius the last 2 years, and I'm retired now, listen to you every day.
I appreciate it.
But anyway, this is speaking out as an EMT. Hyperthermia is a life-threatening condition when your body is exposed to extreme heat. Hypothermia is a life-threatening condition when your body is exposed to extreme cold. Because there's only a certain range that the human body, basically, you can survive in. So, it is possible to experience both here in our region. It depends on the season. So,
what was the first one called? The exposure to the heat? What's the name for that?
Hypo.
Hypo?
No, you got me confused. Hypothermia means high. Hyper, the prefix means low.
Well, they specifically said, I could have sworn they were saying that it was because they had hypothermia. Wait a second. Now you're confusing me. Hypothermia.
Hyperthermia is overheating.
Okay, they weren't treated for hyperthermia. They were treated for hypothermia.
Oh.
So that means they were cold in the river.
That's possible.
It's when the body loses heat. It's defined as when your core body temperature is at 95 or lower.
Yeah.
Is that
either way? People be safe out there. So.
The fire chief from Sunland Park said that he would just say to anybody that illegally crossing into the United States is illegal, but also potentially dangerous. Everybody turned out to be okay, though.
It just shows you that the American dream, people are willing to die for it.
Oh, yeah. The kind of trials and tribulations people go through to get here. They were all turned over to law enforcement, by the way. All right. Thank you, Joe.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to us. Got a couple other calls here.
All right.
All right, here's one.
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm calling in to see if I can, if you play this, and so I can get your opinion or your take on this. But as we know in history, presidents' children and candidates' children have been off limits. And what I mean by children is, under 18 kids, like Chelsea Clinton and the Bush twins. Media pretty much left them alone. Critics left them alone. Yesterday, Trump had a rally, and he brought out Barron, which is the first time ever that he's been connected to any of his dad's political campaign, period. So they cheered him on. Obviously, MAGA cheered him on, and started seeing the pundits, critics online talking about how he's 18 now. He's an adult. He's cheering on for his dad, so he's fair game now. And I was wondering what your thought on this. A lot of comments I saw was like, the spawn of Satan has shown himself, and a lot of people are saying he could probably even be worse in future years, 20, 30 years from now. But I'm just curious what your take is. My opinion is, if he's 18 and he goes out public for his dad, he is fair game, my opinion. Anyways, you guys have a good day.
Yeah, I did see this in the news, and then here we got a little late night. Seth Meyers was talking about the exact same thing the caller was talking about. Barron Trump.
Is this kid like 8 feet tall?
Okay, all right, I will address that here in a second. He's 18. I haven't heard anything about him playing basketball. Dude is like 6'7". You got to post up in the middle, man.
I'm watching these videos. That dude is tall.
Oh, yeah, he towers over his... Trump is claimed to be 6'3". If he's 6'3", Barron must be like 6'11". So here's Seth Meyers talking about it.
Former President Trump held a rally yesterday in Florida and gave his son Barron a shout-out and said he was, quote, a very good guy. A very good... That's not how you talk about your own flesh and blood. That's how you talk about the neighbor who agreed to water your plants while you're away. Yeah, Dan's going to do it. He's a very good guy.
I don't know what Barron Trump is all about. I mean, he was a little kid when Trump won in 2016. I've never heard him speak. I've always kind of been secretly hoping that he, turns out to be awesome. And he kind of reminds me of
about the child.
It kind of reminded me when Trump brought him out on stage, like Homelander and his son from The Boys. If Trump had laser vision, he would totally laser vision people who got out of line at his rallies. I'm not gonna pick on him. I mean, his dad introduced him, and the MAGA crowd cheered him. I don't know what he's all about. I hope he's more of a quality person than his father is.
Right.
I guess he's old enough to vote. My daughter is going to be old enough to vote by about 2 days. Now, about a month. Her birthday's in October.
Oh, so she'll be ready to vote in November.
Right. She was asking me, because she really wants to vote in November, can I do this early before I turn 18? And I told her, I don't know.
Girl, that is a good question.
That is a good question.
I think early voting ends maybe a week or two before the actual election. So she may be able to vote early.
Do they just God, I don't remember when I turned 18, the first time I voted. Do they send it to you in the mail, or do you have to do something to register to vote?
When
you're turning 18.
When she went and got her ID or license, did she put in I want to register to vote?
She has not gotten her license yet.
Or an ID?
She has a learner's permit, but I don't even think that's a photo ID yet.
Don't even worry, because right now is the time where everyone, all these organizations are hounding you. Are you registered to vote?
Oh, okay. Well.
So she could easily still register to vote.
I remember people being really mean to some of the president's kids. Chelsea Clinton. People used to make jokes about her being an ugly child. I mean, think what that would do to how old was Chelsea? Maybe 12 or 13?
Yeah, I think so.
When Bill got into office. Jimmy Carter had a daughter who was kind of going through an awkward tween stage.
Oh.
Amy Carter. People gave her a hard time.
Obama's daughters?
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I think that all of the president's kids have gotten some. I mean, it says more about the person who's talking bad about somebody's
an
children.
underage child.
Right.
Yeah.
It says more about the person who's making the comments than anything else. I'm going to give you all the back-to-school stuff you need to know. That's right. We're already announcing the Back-to-School Expo. I'll tell you this much. It's going to be Saturday, August the 10th, less than a month away at Silla Vista Mall, and I will give you the details and let you know this is not a coincidence. There's a story in the El Paso Times today that says that retailers are trying to start the back-to-school shopping season earlier and earlier every year. So let's take a quick break. But before we do that, we've got your late-night roundup. This is something Joanna puts together for us while we're still asleep, so you can have a recap of the funniest moments and highlights from late-night television. Here we go.
Starbucks was giving away free reusable straw to everyone who bought a cold drink. Yeah, free straw. All you gotta do is buy the $9 iced coffee first. Then you free straw? Are you kidding me? Meanwhile, Dunkin' Donuts will puncture a hole in the side of your culotta and let you shotgun it like a beer.
The candy brand Jelly Belly announced a new release of its Bean Boozled Jelly Bean Pack, which contains a candy that can either taste like licorice or burnt rubber. That's disgusting. Who wants to taste licorice?
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5.
Wednesday night, grab patio for great music at the State Line, benefiting the Child Crisis Center of El Paso.
El Paso's own live and local, The Buzz Adams Morning Show, 95.5 KLAQ.
All right, Joanna's going to have the Hollywood Cheesemay coming up in just a few minutes. I'm going to tell you about, it does seem early, but it's time to start talking about back to school.
Back to school.
God, that would be so depressing if my daughter heard that. She still feels like her summer break just started.
It kind of does feel that way.
They're on that year-round schedule.
That's what
like
it
we
is.
didn't get a whole week off for Thanksgiving when I was in school.
Or like 2 weeks for spring break.
I think we got 2 weeks for Christmas. Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah, like about 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks off.
You got Christmas week and then like New Year's week.
Right. You didn't go back until after the New Year.
After the New Year.
But I'll give you the lowdown on that. Got a few phone calls coming in. Thank you, everybody that's calling, either on the studio line or the recorded neck line. And I'll give both of those numbers out again to call us direct in the studio. That number is 915-910-4995. That's 915-910-4995. Or to leave a message for us anytime, 24 hours a day. Use the neck line. That number is 844-805-NECK. 844-805-6325.
Good morning, guys. I know it's the news every morning, but I just can't believe that people are rooting out Joe Biden against Donald Trump. I don't even know why that's comparative. I said Donald Trump, he's a fraudulent man, convicted fraudulent, also for sexual harassment, sexual assault. The Epstein files, he's in there in documents and pictures. And somehow you're like, well, you know what? Joe Biden's kind of stuttered and stuff. I'd rather take this pedo over here. Oh my God, it blows my mind. And where are we? 2024, and this is where we're at. It's between a pedophile and an old man. Come on, guys.
Well, they're both old men.
I know. I've noticed
Trump presents as a lot quicker mentally, even as he's telling whoppers. He still comes across as more conversant. Although he certainly has his moments where he's incoherent too.
Right. I think a lot of times a lot of people are just saying like, "Oh, Biden's old and old." Like, so is Trump.
If I had my druthers, as they used to say, I'd rather have somebody in that office who is competent. But I cannot abide Trump MAGA supporters saying that Joe Biden isn't fit for office. Yeah, he's suffering from age-related mental decline, but Donald Trump still has never admitted that he lost the election. Here's a guy who did everything. He fought tooth and nail to hang on to power when he lost the election. When you're comparing those two things, I think it's a couple of bad choices. I don't love the choices.
Right.
But one guy's a convicted felon, you guys. Surprisingly, I've seen a few polls following the debate that still have it really close. You would think that the polls would show, since everybody's been talking for almost 2 weeks now, well, exactly 2 weeks now, about how poorly Joe Biden did in the debate.
Yeah.
You'd think that would be reflected in the polls, but it is still super, super tight from what I'm seeing. Here's a call that came in sometime after the show yesterday, but before today's show.
Hello, Nico, Jimmy in here. And I like using big words like euphemism that most people don't know the definition to or what they mean, because I'm smarter than you. Y'all are all stupid and I'm smart.
I don't know if that's a good example of using I feel like most people know what the word euphemism means.
Yeah.
Don't you? I don't remember Nico using that word, but that's not a word that nobody knows the meaning of. That's a 3-syllable word.
What were we talking about that Nico would have to use a big word like euphemism?
Listen, he did a lot of fart talk yesterday.
Yeah, maybe it was sometime during our fart talks.
Just a heads up for the caller. I think most people listening have a handle on what the word euphemism means.
Let us know in the app chat if you know what euphemism means. I hope you Googled it afterwards, dude.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
I will agree, Nico sometimes tries to act like there's something that he just found out like yesterday, and then you don't know it. He will lord it over you. You know? What? You've never heard of this thing that I just discovered existed yesterday? What are you, an idiot?
I've known more about it than you have in the last 24 hours.
Right.
Nico, we miss you, buddy.
KLAQ invites you to save the date, Saturday, August the 10th, at Silla Vista Mall. Will once again be the location of the annual Back to School Expo. There'll be screenings, supplies, vendor showcases, seminars. We coincide it with the tax-free weekend. So
sweet.
it's going to be taking place at the tax-free weekend. The entire event schedule will be released soon, but I can tell you a few things. Special thanks to YMCA for sponsoring the main stage. They're going to have back-to-school fashion shows with models and stuff. We got a backpack giveaway that's presented by T2Go, Tea and Energy, bringing the backpack giveaway. So, while they last, you can get a backpack filled with back-to-school stuff. Got a coloring contest. El Paso Electric is giving away a scholarship. And the models that are going to be modeling the back-to-school line are from Laura's Productions. So that is the Back-to-School Expo, less than a month away.
And those backpacks have great supplies in them. And I feel like a lot of people don't take advantage of that because we usually have a few left over.
Oh,
and
I
I've
would.
taken advantage of a free backpack.
You got a backpack, had some like pencils and a pearl eraser.
Yeah, and like paper, ruler,
Remember the pink
a binder.
remember the pink pearl erasers?
No, what are the pink pearl erasers?
That was just like the brand of the famous eraser that was
like the eraser, yeah.
Yeah.
That really didn't erase, but like put a hole in your paper.
Yeah. They got a story here today in the El Paso Times that says retailers want back-to-school season to start earlier than ever, as in now. And the reason for it is they want to get people back to school shopping before Amazon Prime Day, because Amazon Prime Day,
Oh, that's right.
a lot of people do their shopping that way. They
It's already
had
pushing that on me.
the Amazon Prime Day.
Yeah.
Stores like Walmart and Target hope to entice parents to start back-to-school shopping and capture dollars that might otherwise go to Amazon, which holds Prime Day on July 16th and 17th. So that's next Tuesday and Wednesday. So if you're seeing a lot of back-to-school stuff, Target's already had their back-to-school stuff out for a week.
Yeah, I'm already seeing it at Walmart.
I don't know when my kids go back to school, but somebody called in yesterday and said it's like
I think the 5th.
the 5th of August.
Yes.
But there's some schools, school doesn't start till September
Yeah.
or late August. But the campaigns are launching this week. Like, some of them are already going on. Here's what an economist said. Retailers are looking to grow market share. It's not good enough to have bigger discounts. You need them earlier than your rivals, and one of the big rivals is Amazon Prime Day.
Prime Day.
Last year, Amazon had its biggest single day of sales. This was a year ago. Biggest day of sales in company history on the first day of Prime Day. U.S. online sales across retailers during the event hit $12.7 billion.
Billion.
Target launched a week-long event on Sunday, offering 30% off school uniforms and backpacks. They sell school uniforms at Target?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, some of the uniforms are just, hey,
It's
blue pants and
basically-
a white shirt. you
Yeah,
know.
like khakis and a polo
Yeah.
shirt.
Mhm. Right, so I guess that's probably what they're talking about. Walmart is holding its largest deals event ever from Tuesday to Thursday. That's also earlier than in previous years. So if it seems like you've been hearing a lot of back-to-school ads, and it seems like they're much earlier, that is by design. Retailers want to get at you before you give all your money to Amazon Prime.
It's the big back-to-school sale. Get great deals on back-to-school items like gas grills, riding mowers, jewelry, mattresses, table linens, above-ground pools, flooring, swing sets, and more. Yes, I said back-to-school, and nothing I mentioned has anything to do with back-to-school, but we're dying here. Sales are down, and we're desperate. So stop asking questions and just get out here and shop the back-to-school sale for all of your back-to-school concrete, nursery, pet bedding, and drywall needs. How did we get into such a mess? Well, maybe we should be the ones going back to school.
All right, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, Joanna is going to have the Hollywood Cheese Man, our entertainment segment. And I want to play the song that we had a live performance of yesterday by the Voice winner of season 11, Sundance Head.
Yes.
He did a song that he had just written this week. And he played it last night with his band. It sounded really great. Boy, he's a super talented guy. So we'll have all that coming up. A true crime report later on this morning. Joanna's also going to do the news because Nico's not here today. So all that is ahead. And more of the Buzz Adams Morning Show is coming up right after this.
While you're working away, we're working for you. Our job.
Your backyard is waiting, and so is that Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Broadcasting from El Paso for El Paso. The Buzz Adams Morning Show on 95.5 KLAQ.
Now the forecast says we don't have to look out for any rain this week for the remainder of the weekend. But it is going to be in the upper 90s, near 100, might even get to 100. Through Sunday, no rain in the forecast. Joanna's going to have the Hollywood Cheese Man coming up in just a couple of moments. We have watermelon tickets to give away, watermelon party tickets to give away, but I don't want to give them away now because you're about to do the Hollywood Cheese Man. But before
we're
this,
down a man.
Yeah, we're down a man. So
I will get to your calls. I promise.
No, and we'll do it in just a minute. I'm not putting the word out yet, but here in just a few minutes, we're going to give away tickets to KLAQ's first ever watermelon party. It's happening Saturday, July 20th. That's a week from this Saturday, from 4 to 10, and it's at Western Playland. Watermelon to eat, watermelon to drink, watermelon games, watermelon seed spitting contest. I don't know if it's for accuracy, distance, or a combination of the two. But who doesn't love watermelon? And July is watermelon month. So come out and join us. The park is going to be available for you to ride all the rides, too, with your paid admission from 4 to 10 on July 20th. Come out for the first ever watermelon party. We will definitely have some tickets to give away. That will be coming up right after Joanna brings us the Hollywood Cheese Man.
It's the Hollywood Cheese Man. It's the Hollywood Cheese Man. Joanna, tell us more.
Talk to it.
Here is Joanna Barba with today's Hollywood Cheese Man. Good morning, Joanna.
Hey, good morning. Ooh, this is not good news. Kevin Costner's period Western Horizon, an American Saga Chapter 2, won't be riding into theaters on August 16th after all. The film is being pulled from the release calendar for now after Horizon, an American Saga Chapter 1 bit the dust in its theatrical debut last month. A new date has yet to be announced for the sequel, but a theatrical release is still the intention. After numerous discussions, Costner's Territory Pictures and distribution partner New Line Cinema made the decision to switch up their ambitious release plan in hopes of allowing more time to grow the audience for the first film, which sports a $100 million price tag. That includes $38 million of Costner's own money. Mm-hmm. It only made about $22 million over its first weekend and a half.
It's like Kevin Costner's new Waterworld.
As part of that attempt,
do you know that Waterworld is still one of the major attractions at Universal Studios?
Are they still doing that at Universal?
They still have the Waterworld. I think that's the one part of the park that we didn't go to. We went everywhere else, but we didn't go to the Water World.
God, I remember seeing that the very first time I went to Universal.
Like 20 years ago.
Yes.
Probably, right?
More than 20 years ago. And I can't believe they're still doing that.
Well, I can tell you, it's been 20 years since I had been to Universal Studios. They got a whole Harry Potter land.
Oh,
they got a Super Mario land that blows your mind when you walk in. Was that there when you went?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
I haven't been to Universal in years.
The studio tour, the one that takes about an hour, is still pretty
love
much.
that one.
It's kind of the same thing, though.
Love that.
You get to see the town square from Back to the Future and the shark from Jaws.
Sweet.
Yeah.
As part of the attempt, Chapter 1 will debut in the Home on Premium VOD July 16th, in addition to still being available to watch in theaters, but they're hoping that the film will do notable business on the premium video on demand.
Are they saying it's a bad movie or people just didn't go see it?
People just didn't go see it.
Oh, okay.
Is what they're saying. I
I
don't know if I've read reviews about it, though.
It seems like a thing that maybe should have been a TV show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm thinking the whole time, like, is this just Yellowstone?
Yeah, right. This is like...
Is that what's happening?
They've had 3 spinoffs from Yellowstone.
Yes.
One of them's from the 1800s, one of them's from the 1920s. That one had Harrison Ford in it.
The same family?
The same family, right.
Uh-huh. That is so weird. So, yeah, I think this maybe just got muddled in with all that Yellowstone
Right.
stuff.
Everybody's like, why go to a theater? I feel like I've been watching this if you've been watching Yellowstone all along.
Well, from one failing movie to another, well, this one didn't fail at all. Inside Out has passed Incredibles 2 to become Pixar's top grossing movie of all time, with global box office ticket sales reaching $1.251 billion. Based on the most recent numbers, Inside Out 2 has jumped past Incredibles 2's $1.242 billion and now only sits behind Frozen's $1.274 billion. The sequel to 2015's Inside Out 2 was also the fastest animated film to reach $1 billion worldwide. That's the first film since last year's Barbie to earn $1 billion and is the top grossing movie so far of 2024. Ellen DeGeneres said during a recent stop on her Ellen's Last Stand-Up tour that she is done with fame once she plays her final shows, which will be filmed for a new Netflix special that will release later this year. During the audience Q&A part of the show in Santa Rosa, one fan asked if DeGeneres would return to movies after the tour ended, or perhaps try her hand at Broadway. To which DeGeneres said, quote, no, this is the last time you're going to see me. After my Netflix special, I'm done. DeGeneres kicked off the Ellen's Last Stand-Up tour earlier this year and recently canceled 4 dates on the lineup. She's been using the shows to address the misconduct accusations that hit the Ellen DeGeneres show that came to an end after a nearly 20-year run. In her show, the comedian went on to admit that she can be demanding and impatient and tough and said, quote, I am a strong woman. I am many things, but I am not mean. DeGeneres' Ellen's Last Stand-Up tour continues through August 17th.
Are comedians going to start doing what bands have been doing for a long time?
Farewell
tours? The farewell tour until 2 years from now, and we'll do another farewell tour.
Another farewell tour. Another one. Another one. Well, she's saying she's done because they even asked her, like, oh, would you still voice Dory if another Finding Nemo happens? And she said, no, I'm going bye-bye. Finally, prepare your togas and broomsticks. Paul Mescal is manifesting Barbenheimer 2.0. The actor, who is set to star in Ridley Scott's historical epic Gladiator 2, has been made aware that the upcoming film shares a release date with its polar opposite, the candy-colored musical adaptation Wicked. Fans have been quick to point to compare the growing hype for their joint release to that of Barbie and Oppenheimer from last year. And Mescal agrees, and he thinks that we may have a title for this one.
With your movie releasing the same day as Wicked, it's being likened to Barbenheimer. The names that they've come up with are Glicked, Wictiator.
Wictiator doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it? I think my preference would probably be Glicked. If it has a similar effect to what it did for Barbie and Oppenheimer, it would be amazing, because I think that the films couldn't be more polar opposite, and it worked in that context previously. So fingers crossed people come out and see both films on opening weekend.
Who is this? Who's Paul Mescal?
He is an actor.
Yeah, what's he been in?
He came out in this movie called After Sun. That's really good.
Oh, I didn't see
He was in some show that was really good. What was the name of that show? Normal People.
I didn't see that one either.
Well, he's a really great actor.
Okay.
I do like him a lot. But you've heard it here first. It's going to be Glickit.
Glickit.
So excited. Besides being an excellent merch opportunity, the Barbenheimer effect led to an opening weekend that shattered box office expectations and helped movie theater chains like AMC Theaters earn their highest revenue ever. Moviegoers were so excited to partake in the trendy double feature that the films, which both premiered on July 21st, reinvigorated the summer box office. The titles earned roughly $2.4 billion in combined worldwide ticket sales and later 21 Oscar nominations between them.
I know they were both big deals. I can't imagine sitting through either one of those movies again, Barbie or Oppenheimer. I saw them both, but it's not the kind of thing where it's like, oh, that's going to be on TV. I'm going to watch it again.
Well, Mescal isn't the only voice championing Glickit. Wicked director John M. Chu has also embraced the phenomenon, just with a different moniker. He is saying Wickedator. He wrote on a July 1st X post, resharing fan art of the two films with the Gladiator quote, "Are you not entertained?" Gladiator 2 and Wicked both release in theaters on Friday, November 22nd. With your entertainment news, I'm Joanna Barba.
For the folks that came out last night to the State Line Patio concert series, you saw a great show. And if you're wondering how that guy sang so well, he was the winner of season 11 of The Voice, Sundance Head. And he joined us in the studio yesterday. He played a song he had just written this week. And he told the people at the State Line they were the first people to hear it. But that's not accurate because people who listen to this show heard it yesterday. Can we hear that again?
Yes.
All right. This is Sundance Head, who performed a free concert for a crowd last night at the State Line. Let's hear it.
Starts with a little intro, though.
Now, Sundance Head is here. He is your voice winner from the season he won, which
there you go.
I don't know the number.
It was 100 years ago.
Yeah,
Season 11.
Season 11. Sundance won that one. He was also on American Idol in 2008. And he's going to play a song for us here in the studio. This is one you wrote?
Yes, sir.
And it's pretty new, huh?
I recently coming up on 2 years being sober from alcohol.
Good for you.
So this is, I had a dream that I drank again, and I woke up and told my wife about it, and then I wrote this song. It was a week ago, actually. We're going to play it tonight full band, man, and it's really, the song is really capturing my spirit right now, and the band, in essence, as how we're playing it very, very well. It's very simple. We play it as a three-piece. It's gorgeous.
What's the title of the song?
A New Memory of You.
A New Memory of You. Here's Sundance Head.
All right, let's go, man. I had a dream last night that I drank for the first time in years. And as the spirit entered my body, my soul filled up with tears. Now I'm sitting at the table with a bottle and a gun, and I'm reaching for a handle, but I don't know which one, 'cause they're both gonna kill me, either one that I choose. For tonight there will be no winning, and I can only lose. It's a song I've heard before. It's a lot like singing the blues. It'll end with a slamming door and a new memory of you. choose. For tonight there will be no winning, and I can only lose. It's a song I've heard before. It's a lot like singing the blues. It'll end with a slamming door and a new memory of you. It'll end with a slamming door and a new memory of you.
Wow. Isn't that amazing? That's fantastic. All right. You need to go pack out the state line tonight so you can hear it with the whole band.
Oh, man. It's
Dave's
phenomenal.
here on bass, but he didn't bring a bass, so he's taking pictures.
He's
But
playing
you're
air bass, man.
That's a fantastic country song. I love that song.
Hey, it's Chuck, your host for Loudwire Nights. Tonight at 7, we will rock the borderland with the best rock ever made and the best rock being made. Special guests, birthday and anniversary celebrations, and every night at 10...
Weekend at the Lake, Peace Tackle Box, and Yingling Gear 2. It's 100 ways to celebrate summer with Yingling Flight.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Interman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
I love this song.
That's a great song.
Why do we only hear it around Halloween?
That's a good point. Why?
I got a few phone calls, and then we're going to do the Mo Show calendar and daily almanac of events.
Sweet.
Today is Free Slurpee Day at 7-Eleven. They just give you no questions asked, free Slurpee. But somebody pointed out earlier, we don't have 7-Elevens anymore. They're all DKs.
That is true.
So Joanna, as part of the Mo Show calendar, when we get to Free Slurpee Day, there's a workaround, right?
Yes, there
You'll
is.
share that with us?
I got a life hack.
Got a life hack for Free Slurpee Day. What if you don't have a 7-Eleven? All right, we'll get to that coming up here in just a few moments. Here are some calls that have come in recently since the show began today on the Neckline. Remember, you call, leave us a message anytime you like.
All right.
Neckline number is 844-805-NECK. That's 844-805-6325.
Hey, good morning show. Tuned in a little late and I saw that Nico's not there again. And I come to the conclusion that Nico doesn't need a full battery test at the Mayo Clinic. What he needs is a limpia.
He needs a limpia.
He's sick again, Maybe go to a brujo, give him some, some uña de gato, help him fix whatever's wrong with him.
Yeah.
Miss you, Nico.
Aw.
Yeah, don't they rub an egg on you or something?
Yeah, an egg.
Like what all goes on in a limpia, which is a cleansing, right?
Some like chanting.
Right, what do they chant?
I don't know.
Mecca lecca hi, mecca hiney ho.
Something like that. An egg. Maybe some saging.
How far back in history does this practice go? Probably a long way back.
Yeah,
huh?
perhaps. Dude, if Nico gets me sick, I'm going to be so mad at him.
You mentioned that Inside Out is the highest grossing Pixar movie?
It is, yes. And so far, the highest grossing movie of 2024.
Was WALL-E a Pixar movie?
Yes.
Then that's my favorite Pixar movie.
Ah, good choice. Yeah.
I thought WALL-E was excellent.
That is a good movie.
Are the Toy Stories are Pixar?
Yes.
Okay. How about Up?
Yes.
Well, Up is my second favorite.
Aw, that is a good one, too.
Here's somebody called about Inside Out.
Good morning show. Just thought I'd call and mention Inside Out number 1.
Now, I'm in my 40s. I'm a construction worker, and I consider myself a manly man. But when I saw Inside Out and when Bing Bong died, and that scene made me weep like a baby.
Like a baby.
I don't know, Joanna, if you got sad when Bing Bong died, but
Oh, for sure.
it was a really sad scene. So, Buzz, check it out, and I hope everybody still has their Bing Bong. Because once he's gone, he's gone. I lost mine when I started to pay bills and have so much stress at work. But y'all have a good day. Thanks, guys.
Oh, Bing Bong.
You know, the idea of kids having imaginary friends, I've only ever heard about that in movies. Is it a thing that happens in real life? Kids have imaginary friends?
You never had imaginary friend?
No.
Oh, well, you don't do like you don't have an internal voice. Maybe it's only applicable to people who do that.
Yeah, I still
Oh, Bing Bong. But only Joy makes it. And not Bing Bong.
Bing Bong! We did it! Bing Bong? Bing Bong!
You made it! Go save Riley! Take her to the moon for me. Okay?
And then Bing Bong fades away.
I wonder if they resurrect Bing Bong in the new Inside Out.
I wonder too. To my delight, my nephews have already said they do want to go see it.
In a theater?
Yes.
Okay.
But because they didn't want to at first.
Because they're getting too old for
Yes.
baby stuff or whatever. Well, they're young men now.
Are they?
I don't know. How old's the youngest?
The youngest is 15.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other one just turned 17 the other day.
And Peanut?
Peanut is 25.
Oh, all right.
Hi, morning show. I didn't know if you touched on the fact that The Simpsons predicted another one. I don't know how they do it, but Cypress Hill and London Symphony Orchestra are going to play together in London, I believe. But anyway, feel better, Nico. Y'all have a great day. Later.
Yeah, I actually became aware of this a couple of weeks ago that Cypress Hill appeared kind of at the height of their popularity. So this would have been like, when did Insane in the Membrane come out? Probably like 93, 94, right?
Maybe?
And they did a guest appearance on The Simpsons. And The Simpsons made a joke about them performing with the London Philharmonic. This was an early season. Yeah, this had to have been 93, 94.
Clear the way! Performer coming through!
This is so exciting. Last time I got to go backstage was when Bart ripped his pants at the Christmas play.
Okay, so this episode is coming back to me. This is the one where, a thing was really popular at the time because it went on in conjunction with Lollapalooza. It was called the Jim Rose Circus.
Okay.
Do you remember that at all?
No.
And anyway, so Homer has like a sideshow act, and he's doing it at the Jim Rose Circus, or the stand-in is, but it's, Cypress Hill is playing it on the Lollapalooza side of things.
Orchestra!
Wait, so here's the joke. It's Cypress Hill.
Bands, who is playing with the London Symphony Orchestra? Come on, people, somebody order the London Symphony Orchestra. Possibly while high. Cypress Hill, I'm looking in your direction.
Hey, man, did we order an orchestra? What's up with this orchestra, man? Where'd the orchestra come from? I don't know, man. They didn't tell me about this, man. We gotta do something. Yeah, we think we did. Do you know Insane in the Brain?
We mostly know classical, but we could give it a shot.
This I like.
Yeah, Cypress Hill is going to perform with the London Orchestra.
Oh my God! They
In real
did
life.
it again.
Incredible.
They keep doing that.
Yeah, but they've been on the air for so long.
That's
and they
true.
make so many jokes per episode.
Statistically,
it's going to happen. Right. It's,
one of them is going to happen.
Statistically, it's got to happen. All right. We're going to hear a familiar voice on this call, I believe.
Okay.
What's up, you heathens? It's ODG. I heard y'all making the holy rollers upset today. God should have made y'all should own no slaves a commandment. He made rules on how much you could beat your slaves, but not that there should be no slaves. Also, I wanted to recommend a show called Three Body Problem. Here's a joke from the show. Okay. Why did the Mexican husband push his wife off a cliff? Tequila. Get it? Tequila. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I get it.
All right.
Tequila.
Let's take a look at the Mo Show calendar and daily almanac and events. Thank you, ODG.
Thanks for that.
Today is 7-Eleven Day or Free Slurpee Day. Free Slurpees, no questions asked at 7-Elevens.
All right.
Our 7-Elevens don't exist anymore. But Joanna has a workaround.
I have a life hack for you. If you don't have a 7-Eleven where you're at, good news. You could still grab yourself a free Slurpee by heading to any Speedway or Stripes gas stations.
Who has a slushie?
Like a slush?
Well, there used to be something we would get. There was a Slurpee. That was 7-Eleven. And then there was one called a slushie. And speaking of The Simpsons, at a poo store, it's called a squishy. Today is World Population Day.
Oh.
What are we up to now?
What does that mean?
How many billions of people do we have?
Too many.
Too many. Birthdays today include the Octomom. Nadia Suleiman is 49. Lisa Rinna from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but she was also an actress before that. Lisa Rinna is 61 today. From Bon Jovi, former Bon Jovi songwriter and guitarist Richie Sambora is 65 today. And Mindy Sterling is 71. She probably most recognized for playing Frau Farbissina in the Austin Powers movies.
Oh.
But she shows up like she was one of Beverly's friends in the Goldbergs.
Oh, yeah.
You remember? She'd show up on that. One of the other friends was...
they had a name for the moms.
Yeah, but one of them was the actress from the commercial, Flo.
Oh, Flo.
Flo
from Progressive.
Right. Here's somebody that we know. We know him well enough that we even have a nickname for him. Stephen Lang, the actor who was the bad guy in Avatar and Avatar 2. Slang. Right. He also played the blind killer in Don't Breathe. And am I remembering this correctly, or was there a sequel? Was there a Don't Breathe 2?
Yes.
I didn't see it. Did you see either one of them?
I saw the first
I
one.
saw the first one. Right?
He signed my copy of the first one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So happy birthday, Slang. Stephen Lang turned 72. And fashion mogul Giorgio Armani is 90. I didn't know that was a real guy who was still alive. I figured that he was like Coco Chanel, like he died 100 years ago or something, right?
No, not going to lie. I thought the same.
Right.
Good for him.
A couple of dates in history. It was on this date in 1798, the U.S. Marine Corps was permanently established by Congress. But as any real Marine knows, the actual birthday of the Marines wasn't until two decades later. And this would also go back over 200 years. In 1804, maybe you've heard about this one. Alexander Hamilton engaged in a duel with the Vice President of the United States, Aaron Burr. Hamilton lost.
Mm-hmm.
And they made a rap musical about it.
A very famous musical.
I remember watching this on TV. It was a big deal at the time, and I was a real little kid. 45 years ago, in 1979, the NASA space station Skylab crashed back to Earth.
Oh, man.
The debris was scattered across Western Australia and the Indian Ocean. The International Space Station, they're paying some company like a lot of money, at least $1 billion, to crash the International Space Station safely into the ocean. And I guess that's coming up soon. Put Elon Musk in charge of it. He's crashing and burning Twitter as we speak. And as we mentioned, it is Free Slurpee Day. Here's a call from one of our out-of-town listeners.
Morning, Buzz. So I live in San Angelo, and pretty much from San Angelo all the way down to Corpus, as far as I know, we have Stripes. And 7-Eleven bought all the Stripes, but they kept the Stripes name. So you'll go to Stripes, and then they'll have like Big Gulp and like 7-Eleven type stuff. Anyways, have a great day, guys. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Stripes was one of them you said that is going to be giving out the free...
Yes, free Slurpees.
Slurpee. And there was another one.
Speedways.
Yes. But not the DKs.
But not the DKs.
You would think all the DKs, all the 7-Elevens turned into DKs.
They already had the Slurpee machine in there.
Right. You could have just left it in there, along with the hot dogs that have been rotating on that grill for a decade. Happy Free Slurpee Day. Woo! You can go to Stripes or Speedway and get your free Slurpees today.
It's a great day at 7-Eleven.
Stripes and also Speedway.
Slurpee, free of charge. I'll drive a long way for an icicle beverage. Who cares if it's a small or a large?
It's a small.
It's a small.
Free Slurpee.
Yeah.
Get a free Slurpee.
It's great that you can get them from these other stores, but it doesn't work. The reason that it's Free Slurpee Day is because it's 7-11. The date is 7-11. How does that work for Speedway?
I don't know, Buzz. I don't question the science.
All right. Let's take a break. You ready to do news?
Yeah.
All right. Nico's out today. Joanna will have our news headlines coming up in just a moment.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5.
It's Soundgarden and Black Hole Sun, 95.5 KLAQ. Joanna's going to have the news today because Nico's out. Do you remember yesterday I was playing a call and somebody said something? It was like he made 3 points and all three of them were wrong. Not. I mean, non-factual is what I mean. Not like I disagree as a matter of opinion.
No, right.
And I said we need to start keeping track of which caller has the most wrong things in a single phone call.
I believe you called it like the Neckline Hall of Fame.
One of our semi-regular callers, I think, took it as a challenge.
Oh, no.
Because it's just like...
That was not a challenge, my dude.
Do you want me to play it for you later?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time he says something wrong, I want you to ding.
Let me just give you an example of I think I'll use a buzzer instead.
Okay.
You know. Or something like that. Or that.
All right.
Global warming doesn't exist. It's because the sun is getting hotter. NASA.gov says the sun is not getting hotter.
All right.
Okay, just as an example of
Buzz.
Then made all kinds of claims that every public school is trying to convince your kids to have transgender surgery.
What?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. I mean, it is about the wrongest thing I've ever listened to in my life.
Remind me to get the popcorn so we can have a snack.
Tonight at Cool Canyon Nights, we got a very special evening of entertainment. It is the Selena Tribute featuring Jessica y los Amores Prohibidos on the main stage. It is a free concert, and we're doing it every Thursday through summer. We got a few more weeks left. But come out and see the Selena Tribute. It is free, and it's in McKelligon Canyon Amphitheater, which is really, really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say one thing because some people it causes a real freak out. You don't get cell reception back there in McKelligon Canyon. I mean, I saw somebody heading out that I knew. I was like, "Are you leaving already?" He goes, "No, but I got to go and check my messages." And he drove down to Incredibles.
Okay, yeah, you got to go down. Yeah,
you are not going to get cell phone reception in McKelligon Canyon Amphitheater.
Which is kind of nice. You're not distracted or anything.
I agree.
Constantly looking at your phone for messages.
Some people are beside themselves.
No, it does cause a bit of chaos for some.
That is just the nature of where the amphitheater is. You're back there in the mountains, and it doesn't matter who your carrier is. I didn't talk to anybody who had cell service. This week's Cool Canyon Nights event is brought to you by the Oscar Arieta Agency. Bundle your home and auto insurance and save with the Oscar Arieta Agency. Stop by their booth to register for exclusive prizes. Also, parking is free. The show is free. Admission is free. They do have drinks and food. There's a lot of food trucks available. Plenty of drinks. If you want to drink some alcohol, you can do that. Thanks to L&F Distributing, White Claw Hard Seltzer, also Charlie Clark Nissan, Johnson's Jewelers, and of course, the Oscar Arieta Agency, and of course, Westar, the title sponsor of the Cool Canyon Nights free concert series. Tonight, Selena Tribute on stage at McKelligon Canyon Amphitheater, and it is free. All right, with Nico out today, Joanna is bravely stepping into the spot and doing the news.
Good morning, people. Spanning the globe in search of news.
Here is Joanna Barba with today's top stories. Good morning, Joanna.
Good morning. President Joe Biden will face a major test today when he holds an unscripted news conference at the NATO summit in Washington, D.C.
I don't know about you, but
what's that?
I'm dying to see. You know, was that just a bad night at that debate?
And then that one interview was also bad, 2 in a row.
Are they having it at 10 a.m. because we've heard that Biden... There's a term for it. In that movie about the kids who go stay with their grandparents, but they're not their grandparents.
Sundowning.
Sundowning, yeah.
Oh, my God.
There have been reports, and some of the reports are coming from within the Biden White House, that as the day goes on, he becomes less...
That would make sense.
Yeah,
Sundowning. Well, this comes after his poor debate performance left an indelible impression on many voters who are seriously questioning the president's mental fitness for another term. Some Democratic donors are also holding back big checks as the party continues to wrestle with the path forward. On Wednesday, actor George Clooney, who had been among Biden's biggest supporters and donors in Hollywood, took the step of publicly calling for him to bow out of the race. In a New York Times op-ed, he said, quote, "We are not going to win in November with this president," adding that some lawmakers he has spoken with privately shared this view. Clooney said the country deserves to hear from other politicians who could potentially replace Biden at the top of the ticket. Meanwhile, Senator Peter Welch of Vermont became the first Democratic senator to call for the president to drop out, writing in an op-ed for the Washington Post that, quote, "For the good of the country, I'm calling on President Biden to withdraw from the race." And when asked about Biden's campaign on MSNBC's Morning Joe yesterday, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said this.
It's up to the president to decide if he is going to run. We're all encouraging him to make that decision because time is running short.
God, speaking of sundowning.
Oh, Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah. More than 1.3 million homes and businesses across Southeast Texas are still without power after barrels slammed into the Gulf Coast as a Category 1 hurricane on Monday. Countless families have lost food in their warming fridges, while many stores are still closed, leaving local authorities scrambling to distribute food to underserved areas. Heat-related medical emergencies are also spiking in Houston as 90-degree temperatures blanket parts of the state. Senior care facilities and residents who rely on electric medical devices are particularly at risk as power outages stretch through at least the end of the week. Opening statements in the involuntary manslaughter trial of actor Alec Baldwin began on Wednesday, nearly 3 years after cinematographer Helena Hutchins was fatally shot on the New Mexico set of the Western film Rust. Prosecutors accused Baldwin of violating the cardinal rules of firearm safety by pointing a gun at a person and pulling the trigger. The defense team, on the other hand, said that the gun was deemed cold, meaning it had been checked and was safe. Baldwin has pleaded not guilty and has maintained that he did not pull the trigger after the prop gun that discharged was later found to be loaded with a live bullet. If convicted, the actor could face up to 18 months in prison and a $5,000 fine.
I was listening to a little coverage of this yesterday. They don't have the gun itself. They're going to have to rebuild the gun for some reason.
What happened to the gun?
It was disassembled. And they're saying that this is going to be a really hard thing because when they're referring to the gun, they're referring to a reassembled gun.
Right. Oh,
I don't know how movie guns work, but a regular gun, you got to pull the trigger for it to go off.
Right.
So, you know, if he says he did pull the trigger, but his lawyers, Alec Baldwin's lawyers were conceding that point. They were saying even if he did pull the trigger, it wasn't his responsibility because the gun was not supposed to be loaded.
Right. The armorer was supposed to have made sure it was safe. Oh, God. We're in 2024. This happened, 3 years ago? They can't just use like a fake gun. Why do they have to be using like a real one?
Don't bring actual guns onto a movie set unless it's a security guard who's, licensed to carry it. Don't use it in filming a scene as long as it has the capability of shooting real bullets.
Right.
I mean, you CGI everything else.
Exactly. CGI a gun.
Yeah, just CGI the gun.
We'll all believe it, I swear. Former President Donald Trump has sought the help of Firefest founder and fellow convicted felon Billy McFarland for his 2024 presidential campaign.
Oh, wow.
This is according to Rolling Stone. Though he has no formal role in the campaign, McFarland has been part of Trump's effort to appeal to black voters, helping to connect the Republican hopeful with rappers on at least 2 occasions.
That dude's white.
Yeah, right? One of those meetings resulted in...
I'm reaching out to the black community through this white felon.
One of those meetings resulted in a public appearance from Brooklyn rappers Chef G and Sleepy Hallow at Trump's campaign rally in the Bronx. McFarland also helped arrange Trump's June meeting with Detroit rappers I Swear, Vezzo, and Peasy. Vezzo previously told Rolling Stone that he'd pick Trump over Joe Biden if forced to choose between the two, though his preferred candidate is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. All of this comes as part of Trump's attempt to chip away at black voters' support of Biden. According to a Pew Research survey published in May, 77% of black voters prefer Biden, with 18% leaning toward Trump. Now he has the tacit endorsement of artists like 50 Cent, Benny the Butcher, and Waka Flocka, along with previous supporter Lil Wayne. Even Snoop Dogg has pulled an about-face and said that he has nothing but love and respect for Trump.
You know, we have been saying that, and a lot of people have been calling in to say the same thing, that we have 2 lousy choices.
Right.
And that's not true.
No.
We've got 3 lousy choices because I don't know who would do more damage if they had the levers of power, Donald Trump again or Robert F. Kennedy. I mean, he doesn't really have a chance of winning, but I would hate to see, him putting in his anti-vaccine, anti-science agenda as president. I don't think he would try and subvert the Constitution and take over as an authoritative strongman. I don't worry about that.
Other areas
but there
that
are other
he could
areas.
ruin.
Right. He's got worms in his brains and maybe ate a dog.
He probably ate a dog.
He
too.
probably ate a dog.
More than likely he did.
Somebody says there's a conspiracy theory in the Alec Baldwin case. I know we kind of moved on. Let me hear
I
what
love
this.
a good conspiracy theory.
If it is a good one.
Right.
Hey, Buzz. Regarding the story you're talking about with Alec Baldwin, you know, the conspiracy theory that no one's talking about, I think there's going to be a new one. Remember how he notoriously mocked Trump while he was in office on SNL? And, like, it actually bothered Trump. He would go on social media complaining about it. And he even got the FBI to try to investigate Alec Baldwin about it. Look it up, man. Isn't that crazy? So now look at what Alec Baldwin's going through now. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing it out. I'm not being all conspiracy theory weirdo, but I mean, just check it out.
Well, a lot of people made fun of Donald Trump.
Right.
I mean, he did, you know, his usual thing. The untalented former actor, Alec Baldwin.
The unfunny SNL.
Right, you know how it goes. Come on. It's like Trump doesn't even need to say stuff. You could just bring up a topic and everybody could kind of guess what he's going to say.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Although, might want to look into that. That sounds interesting. The two NASA astronauts piloting the historic Starliner mission spoke favorably Wednesday about the vehicle that carried them to the International Space Station, despite a string of issues that have delayed its return indefinitely. The crew has been in space for more than a month, much longer than the week-long stay initially expected. NASA and Boeing have said that the fresh wave of issues affecting this flight should not prevent the spacecraft from ultimately bringing astronauts Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore safely home. NASA has not named an expected time frame for their return to Earth, but insists that the crew is not stuck in space.
Or lost in space.
Lost in space. Oh, man.
They're not stuck in space, but they can't come back.
But that's not stuck. They're like, we're finding a way. They're not stuck. We promise.
And somehow Boeing's name is in the middle of all of this, too.
I think at this point, you start to see like Boeing in anything, and you're like, uh-oh, don't get on that.
They should rename their company Booing, because that's what everybody does when they find out they're on a Boeing plane.
Oh, Costco members will have to pay more starting this fall. The company has announced it's increasing the annual membership fee. The Gold Star membership will go from $60 to $65 annually, while the Premium Executive membership will increase from $120 to $130. It's the first fee increase for Costco members in 7 years and will take effect September 1st. Great. The one time I finally have a Costco membership.
Oh, you have one now?
Yes. And they decide to up their prices.
I dropped my Costco membership, not because I have anything against Costco, but it's all the way on the other side of town, and Sam's is like 2 minutes from my house.
Every time I go to Costco, I'm like, this goes into the cons list. I have a pros and cons list, and there's a lot more cons than pros.
Oh, there's more cons? Let me hear a couple.
So only one Costco, as opposed to several Sam's that I can find.
Is there only one Costco?
There's only one Costco. Parking is a nightmare there. Terrible.
True. You got to put, first of all, your cart weighs 500 pounds by the time you push it.
Right.
It's loaded
And then people,
like the Grinch's sleigh.
You're just pushing that out there. Well, there's a car like coming towards you because they don't see you or they don't want to stop.
You do have a point that the parking lot is a lot more treacherous at Costco than at Sam's.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. What else?
The free samples are probably a pro because there's always free samples at Costco, and Sam's rarely has free samples now.
I thought they had them all the time.
They started to bring them back because of the whole COVID thing.
The last time I went to Costco, I got up to the front of the line. They said, "Oh, your card expired last month," and I said, and they said, "Do you want to renew it for another year?" And I said, "Well, let me ask you a question. Since you're in the computer, when was the last time I shopped at Costco? it was over a year ago before that.
The last time that you renewed this card?
The last time you renewed the card was the last time you shopped at Costco.
Oh, see.
But again, nothing against Costco. If it was as close to my house, I'd probably go there, but it's not, so.
Also, their snack selection could be better. Just saying.
Now the West Side Sam's has that walk-in freezing room with all the fresh produce.
So nice.
Yeah, especially in the summer.
Well, finally, 6 in 10 Americans are searching for destination dupes this year to cut down on costs, according to new research. A survey of 2,000 Americans with upcoming travel plans revealed 61% are interested in a dupe, a destination that mimics the allure of a similar, more expensive place. But just because respondents are open to these alternative destinations doesn't mean that they want everyone else to know. The survey revealed that when sharing photos or memories of their trip, 28% would tell people it was the original place, not the dupe. Conducted by Talker Research, the survey asked respondents what destination dupes they'd be interested in.
Wait. I lost the train here for a second. What's a destination dupe?
I'm so glad you asked.
Yeah.
Here is what it is. They're looking at alternative destinations. The respondents' top dupes include visiting the U.S. Virgin Islands instead of the Bahamas, going to Belfast, Ireland in place of London, Memphis, Tennessee instead of Nashville, and instead of heading to Tuscany, Italy, they'll be heading to Napa, California instead.
You want to go to the Olympics in Paris and you can't afford it? They're having a rodeo in Paris, Texas.
Exactly. When respondents were asked about the appeal of these alternative spots, the majority of them said it was to save money, while others were interested in seeing somewhere new and wanted to avoid crowds at the more popular destinations. So if you're heading out on a vacation this summer...
Can you think of any other good replacements?
I cannot, but I like that instead of going to Italy, just go to Napa, California.
Hey, you don't want to go to New York or Paris? Go to Las Vegas. They have little versions of that.
You can go and see both of them in the same day. Destination dupes are the big thing this summer.
And Vegas has a lot fewer rats than the real New York does.
That's a good point. The people are a lot chiller now. So there's not so many fights. With your news, I'm Joanna Barba.
We talked about this story earlier this week. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer and knight. I guess he was knighted by the Queen, Sir Elton John.
Yes.
Was shopping in, speaking of Paris, he was in France. He was shopping at a shoe store, and he asked to use the restroom. The owner told him, we don't have a restroom. Which, every time I hear that, it's like, dude, just tell me you have a restroom, but you won't let me use it. Where do you go?
Exactly.
Look, I'll buy something in a shoe store. I'll buy some shoelaces. One of these days, like in an emergency, I wonder if you were like, dude, listen, I know you go to the bathroom someplace. I will give you $20 right now to just let me use the bathroom. Right.
Yeah.
I guess I'd prefer it if they told me, yeah, we have a bathroom, but you can't use it. But anyway, so Elton John was there with his 2 sons and a bodyguard.
Okay.
So the bodyguard gave Elton John a bottle, like a drink bottle.
Oh, God.
And he tried to discreetly, he didn't try. He did. He discreetly urinated in the middle of the store.
Bottle.
In the bottle. Right. The owner said
Right
that he
next to
didn't
the
know who
shoes.
he was, but asked him, what do you do for a living? And Elton John replied, I'm Elton John.
I'm Elton John, bitch.
The owner of the shoe, he did end up buying pairs of shoes for his sons.
Okay.
The owner said that other than peeing in the store, he was polite and a good guy. But that there was a little bit of spillage. The store owner says, that's not great, but at least the bodyguard wiped it up immediately.
Wow, the bodyguard taking one for the team there.
I guess there's a lot of things that go along with being a bodyguard other than just standing there and looking and intimidating, right?
Might not be the glamorous life we thought it was.
Well, the station band has taken this incident and turned it into another parody song.
All right.
So here we go.
Pulling my zipper down, grabbing a hold of my gland. I should have gone before I got here. Now I'm dribbling on my hand. You know I can't hold it forever. And no, I don't have to poo. I'm glad this French store had a bottle for me. And when it's filled, I'll be buying a new pair of shoes.
Artist interviews, new music discoveries, celebrating artists' birthdays, commemorating releases, champion of all things rock.
For everyone. Rudolph Used Cars You Can Trust. Located at I-10 and Red Road.
Broadcasting in El Paso to El Paso. The Buzz Adams Morning Show on 95.5 KLAQ.
I brought up the other candidate that's running for president, Robert Kennedy Jr., who is single-handedly responsible for like 30% of all vaccine misinformation that's out there. They narrowed it down. They call it the Dirty Dozen, the 12 people who spread the most misinformation about the efficacy and safety of vaccines. But I mentioned the story about the picture of him eating a dog.
Yeah.
And I got this call.
What's going on, guys? What's wrong with dogs? Dogs good. Have a good day.
Hot dogs are good. Corn dogs are good. Dogs. Listen, this is America, and in America, this transcends political affiliation, religion, social strata. People love dogs, and not the taste of them.
Right.
Ask Kristi Noem, the South Dakota governor, how quick she found out how
quickly she fell from grace.
But then I went to Snopes.
Okay.
You know, I find Snopes to be amazingly accurate with their fact checks. It says photo does not show RFK Jr. eating dog or goat.
Oh God. What is it?
I don't know. I haven't read it. This month, Vanity Fair published a profile on Robert Kennedy Jr. One claim made of the story immediately went viral that Kennedy had sent a photo of himself appearing to eat dog to a friend while recommending places to eat dog in South Korea. In the photo, RFK Jr. was posing alongside an unidentified woman with the barbecued remains of what appears to be a dog. Kennedy told the person who was traveling to Asia that they might enjoy a restaurant in Korea that has dog on the menu, suggesting that Bobby Jr. had eaten dog.
He's all, here are my 5 recommendations for dogs.
The photo was taken in 2010. The same year he was diagnosed with a tapeworm in his brain.
Oh my God, it's the dog.
This is what the Vanity Fair writer wrote. A veterinarian who examined the photograph says the carcass is a canine, pointing to the 13 pairs of ribs, which include the telltale floating rib found in dogs. Kennedy responded on Fox News denying the photo showed him eating a dog. It's me in a campfire in Panagotia eating a goat, which is what we eat down there. Snopes goes on to say, based on several lines of evidence, Kennedy's defense appears to hold up to scrutiny with one exception. The meat in question is more likely to be lamb than goat.
Then why would he say dog? Who are you trying to impress here?
Well, I think he was just, around with a friend, like, hey, look at me.
Hey, dog.
The claim that the ribs were unique to dogs is inaccurate.
Okay.
Several animals, including goats and sheep, have 13 pairs of ribs and the floating rib. So it's not just dogs.
Okay.
So maybe it's lamb.
It's lamb, not dog. Oh.
Hey, was RFK celebrating his 4th of July? You know how people love to eat their hot dogs on 4th of July. Bow wow. Man's best friend.
Oh, wow.
Yummy, yummy in RFK's tummy.
No, guess it wasn't dog and it wasn't goat. It was lamb.
If you sent a photo to your friend and you were just messing around and you said, "Hey, I'm eating dog," how do you think your friends would respond to that?
I have some friends that like sending gross or weird or deviant videos and pictures. I do not enjoy getting them.
You're all, stop sending me those.
Do you know anybody like that? It's just like, here's this crazy, disgusting thing. I'm going to send it to you on your phone.
Yeah, I know a few people who like to send weird things like that.
Yeah, I don't want to look at it.
And then my response is usually, ugh.
Here's a call. I've been sitting on this one for a couple of days because I'm trying to figure out what the caller is saying, but he hates Alamogordo.
Oh.
I apologize to everybody in Alamogordo.
The good people
I
of
think you've got a
Alamogordo.
lovely little town there.
Yeah.
It's a nice little town, just moments away from Cloudcroft.
They got a Del Taco.
Do your best, because sometimes you can make out these calls better than I can.
Oh, okay.
All right.
My name is Dan Torian, owner of the September plate, New Mexico plate number A91191. My bike was stolen in Otero County in Alamogordo, and these people were charged with misdemeanors, trespassing, and theft. I'm out $37,000, and I'm really disabled and poor. I can't get a lawyer. My truck's dead, my bike is dead, and I don't have any work. I'm out of work now because of it. He took me $37,000 off me in Otero County. I warn anybody from El Paso, stay out of that town. You have no rights if you're a Texan and you're mentally disabled. They will rob you and exploit you and leave you for dead. Have a nice day.
So I'm hearing a few things there. Somebody stole your bike.
Okay.
Did your bike cost $37,000? Why are you out $37,000? And then later you said, my truck is dead, my bike is dead. Wait a second. Was your bike stolen or is it dead? Also, are we talking about a bike or a motorcycle? I have so many questions.
There was so many ways this call could have gone, and none of those were how I was thinking.
What are you hearing here?
I'm hearing that everything is dead and not to go to Alamogordo?
Because they'll leave. Hold on, let me.
But
where did $37,000 off me in Otero County? I warn anybody from El Paso, stay out of that town.
How did they take $37,000
Where's the
from
money
you?
come from?
You have no rights if you're a Texan and you're mentally disabled. They will rob you and exploit you and leave you for dead. Have a nice day.
Did he say that he's Texan and mentally disabled?
He says you have no rights if you're a Texan or mentally disabled. That's why he's warning us El Pasoans not to go there.
Okay, yeah.
But where did the money come from?
Where did the $37,000 go? Who stole your bike?
Your bike could not have been $37,000.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things that I'm not clear on here.
Okay, I found the transcript. The transcript does not help at all.
Right. Sometimes the transcript is even worse than our translation. Do you want to hear the caller that I think says the most wrong things in a single phone call that we've ever gotten on the neckline?
Okay, I'm ready.
It's Daddy Delicious.
Oh, Big Daddy D.
All right, so...
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to call him that.
Why, you don't like that?
No.
For the most part, if people want to name themselves on the show, you
That's
can do
cool.
that. Yeah. He wanted to be called Big Daddy Delicious. He can be Big Daddy Delicious.
No, some people will say, hey, if you want your kids to learn about God, Christianity, the Bible, take them to church.
Yeah, caller said that yesterday about the 10 Commandments in classrooms,
Right.
and we said, yeah, that's a really good point. If you want your kid to learn about the Bible and the 10 Commandments, take them to church, take them to Sunday school, take them to Vacation Bible School. There's so many different places you could go and learn about that stuff.
Yeah.
And you got a good point there. But also, I got to say in response, what are they being taught in the school? Are they being taught math, science, history, or are they being taught racism under the guise of under the name of critical race theory?
All right, so I got to stop it right there as we're going along. I asked, so I was like, I've heard this before as a talking point, and I thought, but I haven't been a student, in 40 years.
True.
But I have a kid that lives at my house who's been going to public schools for the past 14 years of her life. So I asked her about that. Has anybody, and I said, just answer me honestly. I'm not looking for an answer. Just tell me in your experience. So I did a survey with a survey sample of one.
Okay.
My 17-year-old daughter.
Okay.
Has anybody ever told you that you should be ashamed of yourself because you're Caucasian? She looked at me like I had lobsters crawling out of my ears. What?
Was she like, what the hell,
right.
Dad?
A lot of it I had to explain to her. I had to give the backstory of this, but she's like, no, nobody's ever done that. Has anybody ever taught you about critical race theory? I don't know what that is.
She's like, what's that?
So we'll just fact check as we go along here.
To say white people are just automatically bad and you're supposed to hate them and blame them for all your problems. So don't take any responsibility and just be a psychopath and a sociopath.
What?
Is there a single example of a teacher saying you should hate yourself and be a psychopath because you're white?
No.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense.
I don't get.
Or how about that flag? People talk, they're worried about the 10 Commandments being up in a classroom, but they don't have any problem with the alphabet flag up there.
This is one I didn't ask my daughter because I was kind of doing it all from memory, but she had all but agreed to come on the show and answer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But she didn't.
Right.
She backed out. That's a good question for her. Does anybody have the gay pride flag?
Oh, alphabet flag. I get it.
The gay pride flag.
Right.
Has that ever been up in a classroom?
Promoting all these lifestyles, I call deviant lifestyles, and the same people will say, well, if your kid's not a Christian, they shouldn't have to look at it. Well, what if your kid's not gay? They're not part of one of these deviant lifestyles.
Well, first of all, we have to establish how many classrooms put up a gay pride flag.
Right.
Is that a common thing? I don't know. I should have asked.
In my school experience, I never saw one.
Well, I don't think the pride flag existed. I mean, how long has it been around?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah. So I'm saying, when's the last time this caller was in a classroom as a student? It sounds like he's getting all of these worst stories from right-wing media. Was he the guy who called in No, it was somebody else who called in and said that they were in Dearborn, Michigan, and that they were playing the Muslim call to prayer over the city's loudspeakers at taxpayer expense. Fact check. They are not. Then he gets into science.
I just found the transcript. This is a long call.
It is a long call. Do you want to break it up a little?
Yes.
All right, let's take a break. Look, people have disagreements about policy, but facts are facts.
Facts are facts, people.
Right. The sun is not getting hotter, and that's not the reason there's global warming. Well, at least 99.9% of climate scientists say that it's, man-made from fossil fuels, and you can clearly see that trend beginning at the start of the Industrial Revolution. All right, well, let's take a break, and we'll come back, continue.
More from Big Daddy D.
More from Big Daddy D. I think I've got him on 5 just factual errors so far. We'll see how many more we can get out of him. I do wish my daughter had come in because
that would have been cool.
Her reaction to somebody was like, what?
A reaction in real time would have been great.
Somebody told me I should hate myself because I'm white. Here's what I think maybe is going on. Because this happened to me when I was in school. Eventually you study the Civil War.
Right.
And you find out about slavery. Mm-hmm. And you hear all this stuff and you feel bad about it.
Yeah, right.
Because you're learning it for the first time and it's like, oh man, I can't believe people used to do that to people.
Right.
And you might feel bad about that.
And then you're
somebody comes in and tells their parents,
my relatives?
oh man, white people used to keep slaves and stuff, and your parents are like, they're trying to keep you critical race theory in your school. It's the parents that are freaking out, probably not the kids. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with more on the way right after this.
Find out what's going on. Quirky facts about our region. Urgent things you need to know impacting your drive. And of course, nothing but El Paso's best rock.
With sound effects, but for a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh. At participating U.S. Wendy's.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a Town Square media station.
Remember that whole build-up I did about giving away tickets to the watermelon party?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to do it.
Oh, we did, yeah.
Remind me as we go into the next commercials in a few minutes to give away these tickets to the watermelon party.
Okay.
All right. I got a few more calls.
All right.
Let me see.
Hi, this is BAC guy, and
remember?
Oh, yes.
Born again Christian guy.
Yes.
I guess that's what he's going with.
I happen to be messing around with the TV, and I put it on some show named The Boys, but I don't understand anything about it. I don't know what is going on. Can somebody explain it to me? Okay, thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye.
I don't understand. That's cute.
So The Boys was a comic book, and what it imagines is a world of superheroes, but the superheroes are not especially noble. In fact, they're kind of toxic people. And there's this whole... Do you watch The Boys? You do? Yeah. So there's this whole corporation called Vought, and they put out movies. And when the heroes do a rescue, they always make sure that there are camera crews there to do it.
Right.
And they sponsor everything, but they're just really horrible people. And I know a little bit about Born Again Christian guy. If you feel like Christianity or organized religion in general is under attack, this is not the show for you, because they definitely have a lot of, they definitely have an axe to grind there, right?
For sure, yes.
Like all of the Christian superheroes are secretly doing the most deviant, which... I mean, let's face it. There are examples of that in the real world.
It's kind of like if Superman
was a dick.
Yes. Exactly.
And they got kind of like superheroes that correlate to different characters. They got, like a Flash, but he's not called Flash. He's called A-Train. They got a Batman, but he's called Noir. But it's all about these guys. They murder with impunity and kind of the way that people would probably act if they did have superpowers.
If they had superpowers and enough money to cover things up.
And the company will cover things up for. Anyway, that's what The Boys is all about. I think my interest is starting to peter out in it. It's still got a whole other season coming up.
It does.
To go. Are you?
I saw the first episode.
Of this season?
Yes. And that's about it. It's all right.
All right, here's a little more from the most wrong call possibly in the history of the neckline.
And the same people will say, well, if your kid's not a Christian, they shouldn't have to look at it. Well, what if your kid's not gay?
Now, so he referred to being gay as a deviant lifestyle.
Right.
That's your opinion. I can't say that you're factually incorrect, but we can disagree on the opinion. It's 2024. I thought everybody had kind of gotten over all of this gay phobia.
Right.
Right. In 2024?
They're not part of one of these deviant lifestyles. Why should they have to see that flag? Why should they be indoctrinated, in other words, in the lifestyles that they otherwise wouldn't have gone into?
Yeah, I was asking my daughter a lot of things about, do they ever try and convince you to consider that you might be gay or transgender? Never. Nobody's ever done that.
It'd be great if we had like an actual a student in here like reacting in real time.
I was explaining this call to her, and she was really game for doing it. Maybe I'll still have her come in.
And why in the schools are they trying to promote transing your kids? They want to give them hormone blockers and cut off their private parts.
Not according to my daughter. She's never heard anything like that in school. Also, when was the last time Big Daddy D was in school? Sounds like it's been a while.
What are they being taught in school? Also, what are they being taught? They're being taught climate alarmism. That we are responsible for the climate. And no, fool, it's called weather. And also, people don't address the fact that, for lack of a better term, the sun is getting hotter. We're in a phase right now in the sun, and this is documented. The poles of the sun, just like the Earth has poles, are flipping. As a result, there's increased solar activity, more solar flares. In other words,
I gotta give him the old buzzer on this one. Is the sun getting hotter? Could that be the secret behind global warming? From NASA.gov, I consider that a reliable source. I would assume everybody would.
I would, yes.
The sun is not getting hotter. The amount of radiation being trapped in Earth's atmosphere is increasing due to burning of fossil fuels. Right. When heat can't escape Earth's atmosphere, changes to Earth's energy budget causes rapid climate change. And when they say rapid, they mean, on a long time scale.
Yeah.
Since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. Changes to Earth's energy budget causes rapid climate change at a rate in which biological life has trouble adapting. So whatever you're about to say about the sun getting hotter, NASA disagrees with you.
The sun is getting hotter. We're in a hotter period right now, not just for the Earth, for the entire solar system.
There has been increased solar flare activity. That doesn't mean the sun is behind climate change. Climate change is, they can see a steady progression. Oh, and by the way, the scientific consensus on this is nearly unanimous. All but unanimous.
What does that have to do with carbon emissions? Not to mention they don't talk about how carbon is good for plants. We have a greener, lusher earth because of carbon. Because, the plants breathe in carbon exhaust and they breathe out oxygen.
Well, that's why deforestation is also a problem.
All right.
So anyway, there's a lot of hoaxes going on. And
there sure are.
What are they teaching the kids? Is this scientific? Or
yes! 98% of scientists in the pertinent climate fields agree with the majority consensus is that global climate change is happening is largely due to man-made activity.
Uh-huh.
That's the science.
Is this ideological?
No, it's not.
Are they being indoctrinated with a lot of bad ideas and population control stuff? That's why they're promoting these deviant lifestyles, because deviants typically don't reproduce. That's why they promote Planned Parenthood, because if you murder your baby, you're killing off the next generation.
So I did remember this, and I asked my daughter, has anybody talked to you about the population being too large and we need to get people to become transgender to... When I say it out loud, I realize how ridiculous it sounds.
You're telling this to your daughter, and she's just looking at you like,
she's looking at me like I am an insane person. What? No.
It's not until you start saying it yourself that you're like,
right.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
I have to say it out loud for me to actually hear how ridiculous it sounds. We got how many billion people now?
I don't know. You asked that earlier. I made a joke that I was like, it's too many.
I think it's like 7 billion. It could be more. Getting people become transgender at a rate that would have zero influence on the world population.
Not to mention, you're doing harm to your reproductive system.
Okay.
You're increasing your likelihood of sterility later on down the road.
I wonder how much Daddy D knows about transgender people? Because I got to tell you, my personal knowledge is around zero. I don't know. I mean, I've seen transgender people and maybe talked to them, but I don't know much of what's going on.
I know transgender people, and I don't think I know this much about it, like Big Daddy D.
Why are they promoting transgenderism to children? To children, not to adults, children.
Again, I asked my daughter, who's going to be a senior this year, if anybody had ever talked to her about transgender. She said, absolutely. Mm-hmm. She said, I don't think they're allowed to, but they certainly have never brought it up in any class I was ever in.
Because if you render them sterile through hormone blockers and or just cut out their private parts, they don't reproduce. And now some of these kids that are becoming adults, they're detransitioning and they're suing the doctors that mutilated them.
I did look this up. There was one case of a woman in Texas who said that she thought she was transgender, underwent the transition, and then decided, oh, no, I'm not transgender, I'm just autistic. I think there have been a grand total of 10 cases. It may not be that high, but it's under 10. It's 10 or under of people who have sued a physician for performing a transit. Look, of all the things you're going to make a decision to do, like how you're going to wear your hair or if you're going to get a tattoo, whacking off body parts is something you should probably put a lot of thought into, and I would assume most people do. And I would assume most reputable doctors would insist on that too.
So what are your kids being taught? And so that's the con. You ever heard the term, if anybody gives you the text without a context, they're giving you the con?
Yeah, you're giving us the con, dude.
Well, that's what's going on here.
Yeah, I know it is.
Getting so upset about the 10 Commandments or maybe the Bible being taught in Oklahoma. And both
Bible shouldn't be taught in school unless it's a class on religion.
What are they getting taught?
And I asked my daughter, I said, are there like a lot of kids on campus who are like enthusiastically Christian?
Uh-huh.
And she said, yeah, there's a lot. Does anybody ever tell them to stop? No. How do you know they're Christian? Oh, because on their Instagram, it'll always have like a Bible verse or a daily affirmation or something. I think it's a lot more mundane. Big Daddy D just must be sitting there stewing in this right-wing media cesspool, and he believes all of this stuff that's coming out.
I wonder if Big Daddy D has kids in school.
I don't think he knows. Right. Do you have kids in school? Ask my daughter. Anybody ever tell you all the world's, you should be ashamed of yourself because you're white? Honestly, looked at me like I'm a mental patient.
They're being taught things that are not good for them.
Okay. All right.
I cannot believe in that entire call how many wrong things, one right after the other.
Not as a matter of opinion. I'm only counting the things where it's like, factually, that is incorrect.
Hey, Buzz, listening to this guy's insane rant about what's going on and about what's schools. I know I retired 6 years ago.
Yeah, this is our friend Tracy, who was a school teacher for like 40 years.
But I would love to call in and respond to every one of his idiotic points. This guy has no idea what he is talking about. None whatsoever. Again, I know I retired 6 years ago, so maybe they have brought in an entirely new gay and hate white people agenda that I'm just not aware of.
6 years, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I still know a whole lot of people in the classrooms, and I've never heard any one of them talk about this. I went to teacher trainings for over 30 years. Nobody ever talked about any of this stuff. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Furthermore, if he wants to talk about indoctrination, yeah, as a Jewish kid, I had to sit in classrooms for, 13, 14 years of public education, and then another 30 years as a teacher. And every year, for about a month and a half, all we heard about was Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. Yeah, that is indoctrination, pal. And when you're sitting in a classroom and people are telling you all about what's going on at Christmas, and you're learning Christmas songs, and you're making Christmas decorations, believe in any of that's indoctrination, pal.
You know, I've got Jewish friends who also tell me they love Christmas. They think the music's real catchy and everybody seems very happy. So
That is indoctrination. I taught theater for over 15 years. You know, a subject people consider all the gayest subject.
Okay, Tracy,
yeah.
I was really into what
Right,
he was
right.
saying because, you know, this is a guy who was a teacher his whole life. And it's interesting to hear him say that, none of this stuff was going on the entire time he taught.
Hey, morning show. You're listening to Daddy. You're listening to
What's with the phones today, man? It's a real bummer when the phone signals aren't good.
Crackpot 3.
All right, can't make that one out. Here's another one. You ready for a true crime report? In a little bit? All right.
Hey, morning show. Someone called in to ask what the boy's about, something that you can easily Google. So just curious if you can tell me what size of windshield wipers I need for a 2019 Jeep Cherokee.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, let me Google that real quick.
Hey, so now that we're asking all these weird questions.
You know, being a DJ used to really be like being a librarian. You were expected to know a lot. Like people would call you and ask you to settle a bet. You know, what band did this? Nobody does that anymore because they got the internet.
Right.
You don't need to talk to a DJ. But I can remember like a lot of, there's a song you guys are playing. I don't know any of the words and I don't know who the artist is, but it goes like this. Dun, 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 dun.
You would be amazed at how many calls I still get like that.
No.
One time, I think I was on the phone for the longest time with someone, and I was like, I'm going to track down this song. And like, he gave me like timestamps. He's like, it was between this hour, and it sounded like this, and we found it.
Oh,
I think
you
it
were
was
able
a ghost
to track
song.
it down?
Yeah, I think it was a ghost song.
Well, that's kind of in your wheelhouse, too.
Well, this was like before Ghost was a big thing
Hey,
in my life.
we're only like 3 weeks away from August.
A ghost!
We got a few more weeks of July Iron Maiden left, but
Yeah.
it'll be August and then September,
October. And then, of course, Toyotathon.
And Toyotathon is November. And then I hope AC/DC Embrace. I got my fingers crossed. All of Joanna's months are coming true.
I've
All
manifested
I'm asking
them.
for is the December
AC/DC Embrace.
be AC/DC Embrace. It seems like the least we could do for me. All right, True Crime Report on the way right after this.
Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show, Glenn Garza and Daniel Paulus.
To watch the neck open, a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Why do people listen to the Buzz Adams Morning Show?
I love listening to your show. It's like listening to the radio edition of a clown show from a circus.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now more of the greatest show on earth on 95.5 KLAQ.
All right, I've got a true crime report that we're going to get to in just a second. You did remind me to give away the watermelon party
my
tickets.
God.
What the hell?
I'm writing it down.
Somebody call in right now. Just make it caller
Let's do
10.
it now, yeah. Well, you
just
talked
do
to
it
this-
now. I'm going to tell you about Cool Canyon Nights and some other stuff. Caller 10, here's the number, 915-910-4995. The Watermelon Party, it's the first year ever. July is National Watermelon Month, and it's going to be a week from Saturday. That's July 20th at Western Playland. So
All
in
right.
addition to all the watermelon activity, you can ride all the rides and enjoy the park. Hey, do you ever stand in front of that splash ride and let the water get all over you?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But have you ever noticed when you're on the ride, the water doesn't smell that great? And some people,
does not.
especially kids, are sitting there at the bottom just to get this tidal wave
Oh, yeah.
of this
There's
dirty
a
dishwater.
crowd of people.
Just
But
to
I got to
get,
tell you, man, when it's so hot outside, that feels
you don't
real
care.
good.
You
Yeah,
don't care that it is definitely not
Who
potable
cares?
water.
You know?
Caller number 10, though, wins the tickets for the Watermelon Festival. 915-910-4995. That's 915-910-4995. Now, I'm noticing somebody on hold. Is that a live call?
Yes.
Let me get this one.
Okay.
I did not know we had a live call. and it's Stoner Guy. Hey, Stoner Guy.
Yo, what up, man?
Hey,
How you
man.
doing?
How are things in, I believe, San Angelo, right?
We're doing all right. We're doing all right, dude. It's hot as hell.
Yeah. No. Believe me, I know that Central Texas and East Texas gets worse heat than El Paso does. It's hard to believe, but it's a dry heat out here.
Yeah. Everybody says that. It's a dry heat.
What's up?
Hey, dude, I wanted to add on to Big Daddy D's whatever. It's so crazy how he went with that one episode on South Park where they took our dubs, where they're like, let's go get in a pile and get gay with each other.
According to my daughter, who's going to be a senior this year, no teacher has ever brought up being gay. As far as she knows, she doesn't have any gay teachers because they don't talk about their private lives like that.
Yeah.
Does it ever? Has it ever happened in a single case someplace? Yeah, maybe, possibly, but it's not like it's going on in every school. And that was definitely the way Daddy D was making it sound.
Yeah, he's listening to something, man.
Right. You're going and using as a source for your information sources that intentionally want to get you riled up. You want to talk about indoctrination, they'll take one case, one place, and make it seem like they're coming after your children. They know how to push his buttons, and they're doing it.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, dude, on another note, man, isn't it crazy how y'all were celebrating the 20th anniversary of Anchorman, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, earlier this week.
So Steve Carell and Will Ferrell are in that Despicable Me 4 movie.
You know, I've never seen a single one of the Minion movies. Not one single Minion movie.
Dude, you're Gru, bro.
Why am I know who that is? He's the ugly bald guy. Why am I Gru?
Best dad ever.
Oh, he's a good guy?
He's a good guy.
Wow, you've really never seen it.
I honestly have not seen a single second of a single Minion other than, like if it's in a trailer or something. It's a big part of that Universal Studios tour now, though.
Oh.
They got Minions everywhere.
You could even look up the chronological order into watching them because all the Minions, they go back to like the 60s.
To the 60s?
They go back to like the 60s and 50s, and it shows Gru as a little kid. And so you can watch that first and, get the whole chronological order in.
Oh, I need to add something, Stoner Guy. I have no interest in doing any of that.
You can do it, bro.
I didn't watch these movies the first time for a reason. Okay. All right. Thanks, Stoner
Dude,
Guy.
y'all have a great
All
one.
right. We'll see you, man. See, just that is funny to you.
It's funny, yeah.
My impression of a Minion.
I would suggest that you go to the movie a little bit, primed for it.
Pre-game a little bit.
Pre-game it, yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm certainly not going to start with this one that's out now. What is it, like the 8th movie in the series?
I know. It's like the 4th, I think. I didn't even see the 3rd one. But you should definitely watch the first Despicable Me.
Yeah?
Yes. It's a good movie.
My daughter's favorite animated movie is not one you would expect. It's a very recent one.
Her favorite animated?
Animated movie of all time.
Recent. What is it?
I think it was called Bad Guys.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
I did not see that.
She says, hands down, that's her favorite animated movie of all time.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's Disney or Pixar or something else, but
I don't know what it is.
I haven't seen that either. Cool Canyon Nights tonight. They got the Selena tribute, so that's on the main stage. Beautiful amphitheater, great venue to watch music, and it's free. That's the best part. Every Thursday night this summer, we got a free concert brought to you and presented by West Arts Cool Canyon Nights at McKelligan Canyon Amphitheater. And this week's Cool Canyon Nights is brought to you by the Oscar Arieta Agency. Bundle your home and auto insurance and save with the Oscar Arieta Agency. Stop by their booth to register for exclusive prizes. So no charge to get in, no fee for parking.
Nope.
You probably will not get cell service the entire time you're at McElligott Canyon Amphitheater.
Which is kind of nice.
It's good to have a heads up. Well, it's nice for some people. Other people were
Good
just
point.
about to have a fit. So many people walking
heads up.
holding their phones up like, if I give it an extra 2 feet, it'll pick up the signal.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty non-cell equipped up there in the amphitheater. All right, you ready for a true crime report?
Yes.
Here goes.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
Actual crime stories from around the world and across the nation. It is the True Crime Report.
Any of you involved in any illegal activity? Because I could sure go for some.
The first one, not a crime story, but I think it's worth saying just to remind people, how hot it is. One of the child actors from the sitcom Alf died of heat stroke, and it seems like the heat wave in Arizona is to blame.
Oh, no.
Benji Gregory, who played Brian Tanner on Alf, died last month under unusual but tragic circumstances. The former child actor who left showbiz and joined the Navy.
Oh, wow.
He had gone to a bank in Peoria, Arizona to deposit some residual checks. I guess if you're on a show in the 80s as a kid, you get those checks for the rest of your life, huh?
Yeah.
Police believe he fell asleep in his car and died of heat stroke.
Oh, my God. In Arizona.
A service dog he brought with him died too.
Oh, no.
Okay, I don't think you just fell asleep, right? I mean, at some point, your dog would start getting uncomfortable and wake up. There has to be more to it. Benji's sister says that he suffered from depression, bipolar disorder, and a sleep disorder that often kept him awake for days at a time. Okay, well, that, could explain some of it. It happened back on June 12th, before it had really gotten super hot. It says here that Benji Gregory from the TV show Alf left showbiz in 2003, joined the Navy, where he became an aerographer's mate. He got an honorable medical discharge in 2005. All right, got some audio with this one. A star college athlete got a DUI, and his head coach defended him, but in a way that makes it sound like he's admitting to driving drunk frequently.
Oh, okay.
Oklahoma State Cowboy head football coach Mike Gundy. I've known about Mike Gundy my whole life because even when he was in high school, he was like one of the he's from Oklahoma.
Oh,
he was one of the most famous high school athletes at that time in the state, him and his brother. He was talking about star running back Ollie Gordon, who was arrested under suspicion of DUI back on June 30th.
Okay.
And he gave an honest take, but it sounds like it might have been a little too honest. So let's listen in to Oklahoma. And he's known for being unfiltered.
All right.
That's a word that's used as a descriptor for Mike Gundy a lot. Unfiltered.
So I looked it up on my phone. What would be the legal limit? Like in Oklahoma, it's 0.08, and Ollie was 0.1, and it was based on body weight. Not to get into the legal side of it, but I thought really 2 or 3 beers or 4. I'm not justifying what Ollie did. I'm telling you what decision I made. Well, I thought I've probably done that 1,000 times in my life, and it's just fine. So I got lucky. People get lucky.
Okay, so Mike Gundy just admitted that he probably had as much to drink as his player did and then got behind the wheel probably 1,000 times.
He's right. He did get lucky that nobody was hurt. Nothing bad happened in those probably 1,000 times that he's done it.
Here's the quote. Well, I thought I probably done that 1,000 times in my life. And it's just fine. So I think MAD would have a problem with that. Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. You're telling people as a mentor for young people who aren't even really drinking age that it's fine
And
to
he
have 3 or 4 beers?
He starts with, I'm not excusing what he did, but I probably have done it too.
Right. The only thing missing was him cracking the top on a Pabst Blue Ribbon right in the middle of the interview. On the question of whether the player was going to get punished, Gundy said, I'm not justifying what Ollie did. I'm going to think what's best for Oklahoma State football. If there's any punishment, it's making him carry the ball 50 times in the first game. So sounds like Coach Mike Gundy is surprisingly okay with DUIs. I got a story about this is a standard dine and dasher, but you got to feel like this person was not very good at it because they made one of the cardinal mistakes if you're going to do a dine and dash. Leaving a photo ID behind.
Oh, what the hell?
A man and woman in Boston had dinner at a place in the Boston Chinatown last weekend and tried to dine and dash. The woman was 24-year-old Zaire Alexander. After she ate, she went to the bathroom. The guy walked out while she was in the bathroom.
Oh.
Then she started to walk out too. When employees tried to stop her, she pulled a gun, which was described in the police report as a pink Glock. A Glock is a type of gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
But pink?
I see them at like Cabela's. Yeah, they make them for women. She pointed the gun at an older employee who wrestled the gun away, but the woman was able to escape. Police were able to ID her because she left her Social Security card behind.
Oh my God, of all the things to leave behind, the Social Security card.
Sounds like maybe she dropped it during the scuffle over the gun. She turned herself in the next day. She faces charges for carrying a loaded firearm, carrying a firearm without a license, unlawful. Wow, they got a lot more gun laws in Massachusetts than we do in Texas, don't they?
Yeah.
Unlawful possession of ammunition, assault and battery on an elderly person, and fraud.
This Barbie with the pink Glock is going to jail.
A man was found passed out, drunk, according to police, at a water park next to the Lazy River ride. I guess this is a thing that we got a lazy river at Wet n Wild. That must be a pretty standard.
Cool.
Yeah, right. When you're tired of going down, like at breakneck speed, you can just get an inner tube and float around a little lazy river for a while. Well, this guy was drunk and naked.
Alrighty.
And 74 years old.
All right. Whose Theo was this?
John Caraballo was arrested last week. He's the 74-year-old man who was found lying naked at the Lazy River at an amusement park. It was 6 p.m., so it wasn't even dark, and there were plenty of kids around. According to police, the 74-year-old man was extremely intoxicated. Someone had called police because they saw the man lying around naked, So what are you going to do? Should we wake him up? No, we're going to call the police.
Hey, man.
Here is Captain Jason Smith talking about the arrest of the 74-year-old drunk naked man.
There was a male subject there who was completely naked. A number of people had seen this, including children, and that they had reported that to Canopy staff, who then reported to the police. The individual was an older gentleman from Somerville. He was arrested for indecent exposure, and he was so intoxicated that later he was taken to the jail as a protective custody. We learned later that from the information we received is that he'd been drinking prior to even arriving at Canopy. So he wasn't even drinking at Canopy Lake Park, and this behavior is unacceptable.
He pre-gamed it.
Right. Yeah, he pre-gamed it. I'm not going to pay amusement park prices. I'm going to get drunk before I go. Once he sobered up, the man said he realizes he made a mistake. Here's the apology that he gave to the press. John Caraballo said, "It was extremely poor judgment. I'm extremely remorseful."
Aw. I get it, man. You go out there to like Wet n Wild or something in the sun, and you're just like drinking like water, man.
Well, he
like
wasn't
you drink
drinking
those
water.
White Claws like water.
Oh, like water, yeah.
Yeah.
At least there's a lot of shade at Wet and Wild.
Yeah.
That's the best thing. They should change it to Shade and Wild because I think the shade is as much a draw as the wet is.
Oh, for sure.
Here's another heat-related story. Second one in this true crime report. A North Carolina woman is accused of leaving 7 puppies in a hot car while she went to eat.
That monster.
She is a puppy breeder. That is kind of looked down on now,
That's
right?
already like
people who
double
breed
monster.
dogs.
Right.
Right? Don't people kind of look
Yeah,
down on
kind
that?
of like puppy mills.
And I'm saying this as a person who once bought 2 puppies from a guy in the parking lot at Target. One of the puppies didn't recover. So here are comments from, this was in North Carolina, Apex Police Chief Jason Armstrong. And then we're going to hear the woman accused of leaving the puppies in the car defend herself.
The puppies had been left inside the vehicle from anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. But in addition to being inside the kiddie pool, there was a cover that had been put on top of the pool. 3
Oh, wait a minute. Is he saying the puppies were put in a kid-sized pool? Maybe one of those little plastic ones that looks like a turtle.
Okay. Yeah.
And then there was a cover on top of that?
Oh, my God. Monster.
of the puppies appeared to be in distress and had some respiratory challenges and were put in an oxygen chamber. One of the puppies did not respond to the treatment.
I am not an animal abuser. I have no malicious intent to harm any animal. I have 12 dogs. I take very good care of my animals.
Well, you left those puppies in the car,
Why did
though.
you leave the puppies there then?
A man who broke into a pet store was later found passed out with 4 hamsters in his pants.
Oh, my.
An Ohio man named, and I swear to you I'm not making this up,
Uh-huh.
Matthew Pancake.
Pancake.
Was arrested after a series of break-ins early Tuesday morning. He broke into a famous footwear shoe store. He broke into a restaurant called Roosters.
Okay.
He was seen on camera wearing leopard print pajamas.
Okay.
That's the worst crime so far. Then he broke into a pet store called Petland.
Okay.
Police believe he intentionally set a bunch of the animals free.
He's like, you're free.
Eventually, police tracked Pancake. I've never heard anybody with the last name Pancake, huh?
Me either.
It's about as realistic sounding as Patty Mayonnaise. Do you get that reference?
Yes.
Are you surprised that I know that?
I am surprised.
Police tracked him down, and he was in the parking lot of Big Lots when they arrested him. When they arrested him, they discovered he had 4 hamsters in his pants.
Oh, my. Is
He
it a
was charged with-
hamster in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? It's a hamster.
He's charged with breaking and entering vandalism. As for the animals from the pet store, police recovered 2 dogs, multiple birds, another hamster. I consider that the lucky hamster, by the way, and at least 2 bunnies.
Oh, man.
Authorities say they didn't get all the animals. They're still looking for more bunnies, birds, and 1 ferret.
Have they looked in his shirt?
Have you looked in his butt? Well, after the Hawk Tuah girl went viral, I expect the idiots in the next story to be millionaires within a week.
All right.
A couple named Joe Boyette and Mary Sweat, yes, Sweat, are facing charges for a stunt they pulled at a family restaurant. This happened in Waycross, Georgia, about 50 miles north of the Florida line. The couple, Joe and Mary, filmed themselves at a place called Rodeo Mexican Restaurant. And what they did was Joe used a funnel to drink a margarita out of Mary's, look, this is the nicest way I know how to say it, out of her butt crack. Yes, Mary Sweat's sweaty butt crack. If you're having trouble picturing it,
Yes,
here
I
is
am.
a security image.
What the hell?
Where'd he get the funnel?
Right? Did you just go prepared with a funnel? They planned it beforehand. Hey, I'm going to drink it.
I wouldn't be
Get
surprised.
the funnel.
I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't
Get
like,
the
look,
funnel.
we're going to do this and then we're going to put it on TikTok. The story gets weirder.
Oh, okay.
The funnel didn't work very well and really got the drink down in there. So I guess it didn't work. So he just poured the drink down her backside. The incident apparently happened 3 months ago, but police just found out about it after Mary, the butt crack lady, ratted on herself. You want to hear how that transpired?
Yes.
Well, she was upset when she found that somebody had leaked the video online and called police to arrest the person who leaked the video. But instead, police came and she and Joe, her boyfriend, were arrested for public indecency. The restaurant put out a statement calling the stunt unacceptable and not reflective of the, quote, family-friendly dining experience they strive for. They also said any employees who may have been involved will face, quote, appropriate action. According to reports, someone who works there provided the funnel. Okay.
Oh,
Well, so we
okay.
get at least we get that
So
question.
they told someone.
Hey,
maybe
we
they're
want
just
to do
like, hey,
we want to do a
you-
butt crack shot, but we need a funnel. I
And
got
the
a funnel
waitress
for
is
you.
like, I got a funnel.
Next story is about a giant crime ring that was busted in Oregon. It involved Lego theft to the tune of about $200,000 in Legos.
Oh, my.
All right, you ready for the details about this?
Yes, please.
Look, they've got it on display. You know, like how they put,
God.
if they make a drug bust, they put all the drugs on a table so you can see it. Look at all the, look at all those Legos. It's just like an ocean of Legos, almost. A massive Lego theft ring was busted by Oregon police. They took drone footage of the mountains, and I can vouch for this. It was mountains of Legos packed neatly in boxes. More than 4,150 sets of Legos, valued at roughly $200,000, were seized from the brick builder's shop in Eugene, Oregon. So it is a Lego shop.
Oh.
Amon Henriksen, owner of the Lego brick builder shop, is accused of knowingly buying the unopened sets from crooks who had stolen them from nearby chain stores such as Target and Walmart, according to police. Among the stolen items could be seen high-quality branded sets for kits such as things as the souped-up DeLorean from Back to the Future, the custom ambulance from Ghostbusters, which cost $230 itself, and the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. During the 3-month investigation, cops saw thieves rob stores of their Lego sets and then head right to brick builders. So it sounds like the owner of the store is also going to be held responsible in that. And that is definitely up in felony territory, too. Just because of the amount of the
How
theft. $200,000.
Coming up on Law & Order SLU, Special Lego Unit. Shocking stories of stolen Legos.
All right, dirtbag. I know it was you who stole those Legos.
No way, Copper. I paid for those Legos fair and square.
Oh, really? You paid for that Super Mario Bowser's Castle Lego set? That thing's like $300. Paid for it with what money?
With my allowance. What's a to ya?
Your allowance isn't that much, liar. Admit you stole them.
I will admit nothing.
It's all coming up on Law and Order Special Lego Unit.
All right, well, my partner's going to come in here, and he's nowhere near as nice as... Oh, I just stepped on one of your Legos. Come on, man.
Don't miss it.
Well, that's it. Show's over.
What? We just started.
Yeah, well, the show's over.
That's the end.
That's not the end.
Why, yes, it is.
Right, that's the end.
And that's the end.
That's the end.
The morning show will be back tomorrow at 6 a.m.